about that. We are chat number 6-ish. I don't even know anymore.
It is. Yes.
Is it 6?
It is.
I don't know my own Writeathon. It's fine. Sam and I are halfway.
Because I was at 5.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Welcome. I don't know what we're going to talk about today, so feel free to suggest topics in the chat. We'll do our best to talk about it for at least 20 seconds, because we're gracious like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine.
I'm here for the ride.
A work lurk. I mean, fair. Hello, Miguel and Sarah and Zara and Sadie. Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
My murderer finally murdered.
He murdered?
He murdered. I'm pleased I finally got to write it. Only I have to write more murder, but I got past the first one. That was like part of my goal yesterday, was to write the murder.
Write the murder. Sam's writing a book about a merman who's a villain.
It's not a whole lot.
It's a short story.
I gleaned some of that from the murder.
Thank you. I'm
Murder.
so pleased. That was my hopes.
I'm still currently working on my opening chapter for my first book in a long series. So, yeah. But I'm falling more and more in love with my POV, so that's crazy.
But good.
Nice.
How's Lazelle's weekend going?
Had an existential writing crisis.
Oh no.
Dropped a project. We'll have a vlog about it later.
That's a polite way of saying don't ask.
I was laying down in a food coma listening to a First Draft podcast by Sarah Ennie, and she was interviewing Nicola Yoon, and Nicola Yoon was talking about a project that just wasn't working, and I was like, this is me. I was like, this is the truth I needed to hear. And yeah, so now I'm plotting something new, mostly mentally.
And now I at least look like I'm looking at you. Well, I'm glad that the message came to you in such a
Polite way.
Yeah.
A polite way, instead of someone being like, dude, this ain't working.
Yeah, we'll just give it over.
Which is just rude, so, you know, fair. Well, Gina's happy for you, at least.
Yay. Yeah. It's funny, because my last vlog, I was so hopeful about it. And my entire vlog this time, I'm so hopeful until the end.
I mean,
the biggest
thing is, especially for you, who is doing, I would say, very well currently, like, you're going to learn new tricks and new things, and at some point you may learn the thing that you need to make it work.
It's true. Though also I'm very flaky, and I do drop projects and just like swap, which is the thing of writing fairly quickly, is I'm like, I can't. I'll just do something new.
It's a very Becca thing. And I say that not as like she's the first person to ever do it, but just like, you know, in my group chat, like those are the people I talk to all the time, and that is always a Becca comment, is like, I've switched books again and I'm gonna go work on this one. And then like a month and a half later she's like, so I'm going back to this other book, which is fine. I mean,
yeah,
y'all get more work done than I do, so I'm not complaining about your process.
I'm on that train.
My process is pretend you're writing but don't actually do it. Works great. I highly recommend.
Do you use work names? Like, it's not the actual name of your project, but you are referring to it as a set name.
Yeah, you mean like
Project Blue or Purple.
So you mean like a code name?
Yeah.
No. Well, all right. So every project I ever start, I name after a song that I associate with that project until I come up with a title. Like right now, my murder story is actually like titled Villain because there's a song by Kada called Villain, and then Tainted Love. So it's like Villain, Tainted Love. So it's those two songs. That's not what I'm gonna actually call the short story, but that's until I decide what its title. But once I decide on its title, that's what I call it. I don't like hide the title.
I just reference to my work by whatever the main character's name is.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I sometimes hide the title. I sometimes don't. Sometimes I hide it because I think it's really good and I don't want anyone to jack it from me, though I don't think that would happen, but still. And sometimes my title, I just know it's shitty, and so I do a code name so no one knows how bad it is.
Gotta hide my shame.
Yeah. I had with my current project an idea of the setting, or at least the premise of what should be the big bad, but ended up not being that big bad. But very ironically, that project is named Project The Organization. The thing is, no notes, no drafting or anything in that project is organized. It is as chaotic as it can possibly be.
Chaotic as fuck? Is that what you want to say?
Yeah.
You're permitted to do the cursing.
I assume she would have told me not to before the stream, because
I don't have ads turned on because I know we kind of go crazy in the chats anyway, so my ads are not turned on for this one anyway.
It seems like they changed them too. Like when I read through the ad requirements, it just says like, check this box if you say like these words within the first 30 seconds. But then the rest of the video is like fair game. But I don't know. I've been swearing.
I just have to behave for the countdown.
For the first 30 seconds.
There are, and it's been that way since I started doing ads, but I started a little later than everybody else. So it basically goes through a list of like, you click like, yes, there's cursing, but then it asks you like, to what level is there cursing? Like, is it in the title? Is it in your opening, or is it just casually mentioned at some point in the video? And if it's just casually mentioned in the video, they want you to click the button, but it still says it's suitable for ads.
Yeah.
So I always go through and answer everything honestly, because it's almost always still suitable for ads.
Yeah.
Same. And that way I don't get any dings on like, well, you said fuck 10 minutes into a 20-minute video and you didn't hit the button that it's in there somewhere. So.
Yeah.
And you have to double check now. Like you have to like click everything and say yes, but then you also have to hit the I submit that I am saying this correctly.
Yeah, I hate that. That's very annoying.
Double check.
I'm following some YouTubers who have sheep farming, and they're showing when the deed is being done and when the lambs are being born, and they are having a crappy time with all this YouTube and ads.
Yeah, there's actually I think there's a checkbox for that, like to checkbox that it's like wildlife fornication, not fornication. That's a weird word.
Wildlife education.
Wildlife education. There you go.
But
yeah, checkbox for everything.
Even months after they have aired that particular stream or video, they will be taken down for violating their ad rules because somebody reported them for being offensive.
I was just going to say, I wonder if it's like animal rights activists are reporting them because they don't like farms. And I know like there's like TikTok videos of people like shearing sheep, and like some people get super mad about it. And it's like it becomes a comment war of like, but they need to be sheared and you shouldn't own animals and like all this stuff. So I figured someone's probably constantly
because of that versus what they're showing. Just the fact that they're showing it. Because people are weird.
Yeah. It's life. Get over it.
Oh, I might die.
No.
If I die on stream, Sam, you're in charge.
I need to sleep at some point. I took the night shift.
I can't leave anybody else in charge. No one else knows what's going on.
Fine.
Facts.
It's only if I die.
It's not my first stream this time around that I'm on, but I'm as noob can be, so I don't know shit.
I just whine. It's fine. She's used to me.
I'm used to it, and also I love you because you're me, just so much nicer and more.
Am I though? That first part.
Yes. More put together.
That part, yes. I mean, what?
I'm a hot mess, y'all, but I'm pretty sure everybody already knew that. Can I help you,
It is a
ma'am?
complete surprise to me.
I have a cat.
Cat visitor.
Yeah. They've been really weird lately. Like, Fitz has been very nice. Like, he doesn't normally like me, and he's been, like, up here on the desk, like, wanting to be petted and, like, rubbing on me. I'm like, are you ill? Like, what's happening?
My first thought is, are you stressed?
If he was stressed, we would know, because he has...
I was talking about you, sweetheart.
Oh, I'm always stressed.
But are you more stressed than you usually are?
No. No, I'm heavily medicated. I'm fine.
So the cat is not trying to comfort you then.
Yeah. This
Good
one
luck on
is
your...
because she likes when we're on live streams. Because people talk to her and she gets excited.
Good luck on your proofreading, Regina.
You just go sit there and hang out.
Is this my spot now?
She's trying to curl up to sleep. But she's
Of
like,
course you are.
I can't do it at this juncture. I don't. I'm used.
She's like, but you can.
I'm going to do my best, though.
It's a lot of effort into trying to get comfortable.
Right. Oh.
Sometimes we just end up doing this. Are you okay now? Are you going to make it? Oh no. Something happened. Might not even be my screen, but something happened. I heard a badoop.
Something in Discord, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, chat.
This is Merlin. Malcolm Merlin. Named after a dude, because I thought she was a dude when we got her. And she was a kitten, and she was evil. You're not evil, though, are you?
Wait, is it Malcolm Merlin from Arrow?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've only ever heard you call her Merlin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my cats are Malcolm Merlin and Leopold Fitz, which is an agent from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the dogs are Flash and Sky, who is also an agent from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So... My dragon bag is Nissa, who is a character from Arrow also. Just, I had a thing. I was in a post.
Fair.
One of the colts we had that summer, his name was Thor. He had like a weird hammer-shaped mark on his forehead.
It's a fitting name. for a hammer-shaped birthmark.
And his mom's name is Twister. So he's 4.
May I come with a pet peeve?
Sure. I know it's Tor, not Thor. I was around for that.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
I'm from Denmark, and I grew up with the Norse mythology is a part of our culture, and it is Thor.
Huh.
We
They
spell
really
it
taught everybody to say it wrong in the West.
Yeah. I think it stems from the Icelandic people because they spell it with a TH, and we don't do that in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden.
And part of it too is like sometimes they change the names of mythology to make it more easier to say for the current population. Like if you talk to anybody about Greek mythology and you talk about Hercules, they're going to correct you that it's Heracles. But Heracles was so hard for people to say that they changed it to Hercules.
People suck so hard because, like, is it just like put in some effort and you could do it?
Right.
Like, no, don't want to put in effort. We're just going to change how everyone says it.
Heracles was because he was like the bane of Hera's existence. Like he was made as her villain because it was, his dad cheated on her to create him, basically. So it was like, I don't remember exactly what the end part of it translates to, but it's Heracles, not Hercules. But I know more about Greek mythology than other mythologies, so that's where I'm at.
Husband is just using his Google to fact check me on my little Tor thing. So
it is an English language sound. Well, and now I'm questioning, like, is the publishing company Tor, is it named after Tor, or is it just like something else?
It is
fitting.
It is.
It's like, it's fine. Oh, good morning. I missed a good morning. Wait.
Hey!
Hi, everyone.
Are you alive?
I am. It was touch and go for a minute. The gremlins almost got me. I had to restart every device in the 10 miles. It should be fine now.
Oh, you poor child. Good morning, Shay.
Yeah.
It is afternoon in my place.
Not wrong at all.
Exactly.
I like that.
There was somebody else, too, that's like a big-time actress that's in like her 40s or 50s that has always, I can't remember who it is. I wish I remembered who it was. But has always like spelled her name incorrectly professionally so that people would be able to say it better. And she has recently reverted back to her original spelling.
Yeah. I just people just need to put in a small amount of effort, but not everybody's interested. I've gotten emails that have said, "Hi, Lisa." And I've been like, not even remotely close. 0 effort was made. Leslie is very popular.
There you go. Yeah. Sandy Newton.
People love a Leslie. Oh.
Because there's a W at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, and I typically, if I get someone's name wrong in an email, it's because I copy pasted and didn't correct the name in the copy paste. I'm horrible about that. I'm like,
Devasia turned into Sherry.
Yeah, I know. It was really weird.
It was very seamless.
But like I'm really good about like copy pasting, changing the important information, like the things they need to know, but then forgetting to change their name. And then being like, actually, that was totally meant for you, and I know who you are, but I forgot to change the name. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know you. I know who you are. Sorry.
Or when people apologize. It's really just worse when people are like, yep, that is correct. I was right. There you are.
I think the worst thing for me is that my e-name, when I was a child, was used to call me by the name after the kids of ducklings. Ducklings, but in Danish.
Huh.
So I don't even attempt because I'm dyslexic, so I don't pronounce things the way anybody else is going to pronounce them anyway. So just enjoy an attempt.
Chronically Southern is
Very southern.
yes. Just embrace it. So
Yes. Chronically southern.
I don't know that I have put hints in my novels how to pronounce things, but I think I don't know, because I do a lot of like, especially in like the book I've been working on the longest, I do a lot of like Celtic names that I just assume people know, and they probably don't. So
I'm of the opinion they can look it up. They can figure it out.
that's
If it's a pre-existing name, like
that's correct. Also, like, there's always the option of having it on your website, you know, pronunciation.
yeah, it's like anime fans and manga fans. They learn to pronounce Japanese names. They figure out how to pronounce Japanese names.
Mhm.
They put it. It's like Lizelle. Is that how you say your name?
Yep.
See, it's like Lizelle was saying. All you gotta do is put a little bit of effort in. That's all. Like, it's not.
I am like the queen of either looking up how an author pronounces their name or asking specifically, because I know people that have the same name that pronounce them differently.
Mhm.
Like, I have 2 great aunts on either side of my family. One is Mana and one is Mona, and they're spelled exactly the same.
I remember this yesterday because you corrected Shannon.
Yes, Shannon.
Yeah.
Like, if you're reading Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, it looks like it's spelled Cianon, but her Twitter page has the pronunciation that you should pronounce it Shannon.
Yeah. She's also said it, but I feel so bad every time I watch a booktube video and they're like, Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. And I'm like, oh, I start to feel like at a certain point I was like, am I wrong? And I had to go back to her profile and I was like, no. This is
You start getting gaslit by everyone else's mispronunciation, questioning your reality.
I seen it the first time and I was like, it looks like Cianon, but I'm going to look it up to make sure. And I was like, oh, Shannon, cool. Okay, I can remember that. And so I just like live with that, like, and I correct people because I feel like if I don't correct them, they'll never know.
Yeah.
So, and it's easily for me because it's not my name and I don't have any emotional attachment to it. I can correct people politely without them having to be like, oh my fucking God, it's not that name. I've been called this for 20 years. Ah!
Yeah.
You know, I can just be like, hey, it's Shannon. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, if someone pronounced my name wrong for 20 years, I would probably flip the fuck out. But luckily for me, I have the most popular name, either first to third most popular name for 25 years in a row in the United States. So people can guess it pretty correctly.
I have a 3 try system. On the 3rd try, you call me whatever you want. Eventually, people will side eye you enough that you'll figure out you're saying it wrong. But I'm not spending more effort on my part. I've done my piece, and I'm tired now. But I actually did put a hint about how to pronounce a character's name in Blood Like Magic because I realized the pronunciation I created was kind of weird for how the name was. But then I very much wanted people to pronounce it the way that I had come up with. And so I put a clue in the book to make sure people would say it the way I wanted it to, because it's her full name is Keisha, but for short it's Case. But everyone was saying Keese because Keisha, I guess. And I was like, no, I hate that. So I'm going to tell you it's Case.
Well, and your clues were very good too, because every time like I read her name, my brain goes, remember? Glasses Case, cool. And I'm like, Case, got it. Every time I read it, I'm like, all right. So your contextual clue
sounds like
well.
I love that. Okay, that's cute.
Right? I was like, case, like a phone case, not like a delicious egg tart.
Right. So it worked. It worked very well. It works for me.
There you go.
Me who tries. And every time.
Savory egg pie, no. Phone case, yes.
Yes.
Since Devasha's here, every time I spell Devasha, I second guess myself. And I look it up because I don't want to offend her by spelling it wrong. And then half the time I just spell grape because I give up. Because I'm a horrible human.
Honestly, I don't blame you. I rarely put name anywhere. I just put grape fry.
Yeah. Sometimes I just do like grape fry / Devasha.
Crap, what's her name? I forget. Because for so long she was just grape. I don't even think she told anybody her name. She was like keeping that a secret.
Yeah.
So, you know, she shows up in a chat and everybody's like, grape! And then now I got to remember her name. Jeez. You ask for so much. Ask for people to remember your name. So rude. So rude.
It's because for the longest time, I was undecided if I wanted to do a pen name or like my own name. I was like, okay, well, at least I want my first name, but I don't know about the last name, so.
But can I just call you something else?
I always reject. People are like, oh,
great.
can I call you Liz? No.
Just be Devasha Great Fry. That's your pen name right there.
Mrs. G Fry.
I mean, I definitely make up nicknames for people, but it's like a natural thing, and it typically has nothing to do with their actual name. So I just randomly will be like, okay, Pop Can, how you doing? Like, whatever.
I love that, though.
I always get Zara wrong the first time. I always want to say Zara instead of Zara. See? Every time. I say it and then I go, you're saying it wrong. Because I'm horrible. But
As
I try.
a person with like an uncommon name, I at least appreciate when people are trying to correct themselves and stuff and they're like trying to figure it out. It's only painful when people decide to mispronounce with their whole chest.
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic, so like if it's not a name that I'm familiar with, I'm gonna ask how it's pronounced because that's even if I know how the phonetics should work, my brain is still like, yeah, that name there is spelled Tommy, it's Tomaya. And I'm like, my brain does not.
Yeah, but better to ask, right?
That's my policy.
Yay!
So it works.
Sweet.
I would have just assumed that was keys and not quiche or case.
Case.
I feel like, yeah, that's an I. Keys. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I put it in. So people know.
Eva, not Ava.
Mm.
I do try. It's one of those things where it's like my brain thinks it should be said away, and then when it comes out, I'm like, but that's wrong. Like you say it, and then you're like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great time. Ask instead of assume. Y'all were not here for it, but I asked for pronunciation, guys, before we started today. So
she did.
Mispronounce with your whole chest. Just be like, by the way, look, all 6 of us are here at one time.
Yeah.
How did we pull that off?
I overslept, so it was awkward in my case.
Sherry was getting in the sleep for me so she can transfer it.
Just gonna like soak up.
That's why she's right below me, so I can steal her.
You can steal my essence.
See, she's down with it.
Yeah. Look, I share. I'm very good at that.
I have somebody in my apartment who are having decided that even it is Sunday here and we are not allowed to drill in the walls, that they're going to put something up on the walls I need to drill. So if I'm on mute, that's right.
Gotta love those people.
I hate them.
No, oh
Sherry,
my
how's
god.
your back?
Sorry,
What?
you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I definitely set 2 alarms and then slept through both of them. So
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
sleep
same. I set like 10 alarms.
So
You were here.
So yesterday,
Yeah, it's the internet that got me and not the sleep.
yesterday my I had like this brain fog moment where I went, oh, today is Sunday, even though I would have had to experience Saturday for that to happen. I woke up at like 6 o'clock. I was ready. I was here, and I was like, oh, sorry. I got the dates wrong. And then, the thing that I feared, oversleeping, happened anyway. And, that's fine. A thing that I was scared of happened. and nothing is hurting me now. Nothing can touch me. I am invincible.
And it all turned out okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday did feel like a Sunday for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Also agree, which is really weird.
I think it's because I started Worldwide Writeathon like on Friday, and then I just passed out whenever I passed out, and like Friday felt like a Saturday.
Can I help you?
Mother, pettings, please.
I was petting her yesterday, and so much hair came off of this cat that like my entire keyboard looked like it had carpet on top of it. It was really gross.
Oh.
So,
I got 4 hours of sleep in between the first time I was co-host and the second time I was co-host. And then I got 1 hour after that. So I'm feeling a little jet laggy.
Mm-hmm.
which feels like a good time to say, I don't know how long this is going to go for, and if at any point people want to leave, you're free to run away whenever. Like, no, leave, peace, and leave. It's totally fine. I have no idea. Sam's very tired, which doesn't help me out.
I'll leave if I start to fall asleep, but otherwise.
Sam's normally my hype man, but she's asleep, so
I like the bathrobe though. It looks so comfortable. I'm like really jealous right now.
So soft and it's comfy. My husband got it for me for Christmas. He got me a little spa kit that came with a spa blanket and some Epsom salts and something else. I forgot what was in it, but I was like, yes, this is mine.
I'm with you, Shay.
To steal those.
Merlin, I had a comment up there. That's rude.
Merlin doesn't care.
Merlin?
Do we get to see what Shay says? Yes, no, maybe so.
She's hitting the keyboard with her tail and it's taking the thing away. Rude.
Well, I tried to provide more light, but the sun went away, so. Hello, darkness, my old friend. You're still copywritten again.
You're not wrong. So, since Sherry and Devasia weren't here, what have you guys been working on this weekend? Have you been productive? Have you gotten anything done?
I've been surprisingly productive. I planned this weekend out as me just being, I am going to achieve nothing. My expectations are I am just going to mess around with my friends, make noise in chat rooms, and then hopefully get to my streams on time. But I ended up like writing about 2,000 words on Friday, and I think 3K on Saturday, and today just started, so I might be productive today, but if I am not, then what I did the past couple of days totally worth.
I'm on the other end of that spectrum. I think I wrote about 200 words on Friday and like 3 words on Saturday. Would you guys like to see my secret shame? That's not going to be secret much longer, but
I do always.
Friday morning me was so hopeful. Look at that. Writeathon sprint tracker, blank. I mean, I've been at the streams. I just like haven't been writing. As soon as the sprint starts, I'm like, oh, okay, time to go vacuum and deep clean the fridge. So like, there's been some productivity, but no writing.
But that's like super valid. Like instead of my short story would probably be done now, except I had to do laundry and sort some stuff in the garage. So sometimes life's gotta happen.
Mm-hmm. Just don't expect yourself to do anything. You don't know you. You're a cat. You're a shadow creature. Like, just let yourself go absolutely feral, and don't like behold yourself to expectations of yourself. Because
no, I have standards. I've got to get shit done.
Well, I definitely do have standards, but
I got tiny lives that depend on me.
Oh, that's true. I have not jumped on that train yet, but
I would like to miss that train entirely.
Yeah,
I would like to be very late for that train. For
yes,
to never show up.
Yeah,
or for me to never show up for it. I don't know which is better, but you know.
Oh, I missed that train. It's so embarrassing.
So embarrassing that train just went right on by.
And I wasn't even at the station.
I wasn't even there for it.
Sitting in the cafe, drinking a coffee. Oh, there it goes. Bye-bye.
Right. You know, it's fine. I haven't written anything this weekend at all. Like, not even 3 words. So you're doing better than me.
You baked cookie brownies, I think?
I baked cookies and brownies.
Yeah.
Indeed, I did. And I've read about 23% of Blood Like Magic, so I'm getting there. I got my reading planner caught up because I was behind from like the first couple of weeks of May. So I'm caught up on that. I've been doing stuff, I just haven't been writing, which we all know is my normal, so no one's surprised.
I was like, I'm in streams. I'm going to get so much stuff done. And then I was like, 2 of those are chat streams. I'm going to be on Emily's for 5 hours.
I won't be doing
like,
nothing.
Well, it is what it is. I misplanned.
The dance party was
that one too.
A lot of fun. But I was like, by the end of it, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to wake up super early for this. Nope. Just like my body went, you're 34, Sherry.
We were not supposed to dance consistently for 3 hours.
What
but we
rules, though?
did.
Didn't know.
We just were not paying attention. We were like, just talking. And then, like, after it ended, me and Matt were like, man, my back hurts. Why does my back hurt? All right.
Why am I sore?
Why do I suddenly feel my age again?
Have you ever been home alone and then your geriatric dog that was outside 5 minutes ago is now suddenly in the house?
Ghost.
No. How did you get in the house? Did someone let you in?
Ghosts.
Someone must have let her in. So
the ghost assisted.
To be fair, I live on a farm and my family also lives here. They just don't live in this house. But I'm like, that's weird. Somebody probably just let her in. Old Grumpy, where are you doing? Where are you
I like the idea of farm life so bad. Like, a farm, cottagecore, quaint, love it. But the effort,
Yeah.
I don't have for it.
I don't know if you've ever had to clean up like the refuse that farm animals leave behind, but I have, and it is not fun.
It is not.
Yeah.
I learned.
I don't do a lot of the farm things. I do like the housekeeping things that are things that would be done in a normal house anyway, and everyone else does most of the farm stuff. So
yeah.
So you're like living Devacia's dream.
Yeah. You just have to find.
Except I don't like doing house stuff either.
Fair.
I need to be like the protagonist of one of those like bodice rippers, where like a ripped lumberjack or like a ripped farm guy just takes care of me.
Yeah.
Or farm gal. I don't know. Farm NB. Whoever. I don't give a shit.
Are you beautiful and also good at chores?
Basically.
Do you like to rip bodices?
I am planning on wearing some.
I mean, do they have to be beautiful and handy? Like, can they just be beautiful and rich and they can hire people to do all the work? Because I'm also okay with that.
Oh, the capitalism move. I forgot about that because I just don't have money. So I don't picture money ever. I'm like, who has that? What is this imaginary thing that people keep talking about having? Paying rent on time? Who?
I always say in my next life, I want to be born rich instead of beautiful because you can use your money to fix your face.
It's fair.
All the money next time, thank you. Instead, I just got cursed with this face. So unfair.
Oh my.
A month of debut vlogs. That would be fun. I'm interested.
There are a lot.
Spirit Steve Glitter and maybe. I don't know. She's happily over there laying down now. I'm just very confused. Which is my natural state of life, so totally fine.
Feel secure and at home now.
Yes. She's laying down being a good puppy dog. She likes to lay in doorways and pretend like she can still protect you even though she's almost 17.
It's
I got this.
The thought that counts.
Right. She'll be 17 on the 29th of this month. Which is... I have to do math now.
Good luck. It's early.
Yeah, we've literally had her half my life. I was 17 when we got her. And she was like 6 weeks old. Yeah. And she'll be 17 this month. And I'll be 34 this month.
You're catching up to me. Yes.
I'm catching up.
That's not how aging works.
So, time doesn't exist, Sam.
Right, Sam. Time is just a construct. It's a confine to hold us in.
I mean, I live outside of it, so I guess that's fair.
It is a good month. I have, I think I only have like 3 on my list for this month. I don't know what this.
I have so many this month. I think this is my heaviest reading month, and I'm like, why?
I have 24 books on my TBR for this month. No big deal.
Yeah. I never do that. Ouch. That's too much for me.
But they're not like, there's only 3 new releases though, so.
I have 3. None of them are new releases. But they're my 3.
I have 6 books I checked out from the library.
That's why I have 3, because I checked 3 out.
Well, that's fair.
It was the first time I had been to the library in the year, and I just went ham. There was stars and tears in my eyes. I was like, I must grab everything.
Amazing.
You've got a lot.
I have 0 books to read this month. because
Freedom.
I'm writing this month.
I do both.
I do neither, but I
That's
like to pretend to try.
That's my life.
I do. I switch off because like sometimes if I'm staring at my own words for too long, I'm just like so stressed out. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, just go
We're
away.
getting a
Like,
divorce.
I have learned that if I am reading at the same time as I'm writing, then I happen to switch over to fan fiction, and it's just messing up my story.
Oh, I see. So like you can't say live in two worlds at the same time.
Can't compartmentalize.
Yeah.
I'm usually good as long as it's not similar to what I'm writing, which was my problem with, I was beta reading for Emily Oliveri, and our stories are very different but also very similar. Like if you've read two books that are the same, you understand what I'm saying. Like
Yes.
how they can be vastly different but also at the same time have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I love what I've read so far. I'm like a quarter of the way in, but I'm not reading anymore because it's too similar to my own work and I don't want to steal any of your ideas. Like, even though it wouldn't be purposeful, I feel like when there's like that much in common, I don't want it to influence what I'm writing.
Yeah.
And I was like, but one day when I'm not working on this project, I will read it. But right now is not the time.
Yeah.
I've definitely been there. So I'm super behind on arcs, by the way, like way behind. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is why I never request any arcs. I'm like, I could email the publisher and be like, hey, but I just don't. I'm like, I'm not going to do it in time. I know I'm not. Let's not pretend.
I mean, I think I'm up to everything up to April. I have 2 from April and 2 from May that I'm behind on, which isn't terrible. But like, I feel like it's terrible because I feel bad about my life. But I also have like 4, 5, 12, 13, 14, 15 arcs right now that I have approval for. So I have a lot I need to read.
I cannot read that fast. I'm sorry.
That's why I have audiobooks. They read to me and they read faster than I do.
I mean, some of them are from like, one's even from January of next year, and some are from December. Like I have some that are pretty far out, but I have a lot to read. So I read like 17 books in February. I can do this.
I believe in you.
I don't, but it's fine.
Well, I believe in you hard enough for both of us. So.
Yes.
And vice versa, I'm sure. Or so your DMs tell me.
Yesterday, speaking of this comment, I watched a video yesterday. I think it was Jess Owens' most recent book community video. And there's like an author who published a book with a Black character on the cover of the book. And people were like, great, and we're pre-ordering it. And then people were doing early reads of it. And they were like, yeah, the character on the cover of the book is like a side character who's there for like 20 seconds.
Wow.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Like just trying to
not okay.
Right.
I'm like mind blown away. Like, that's a big no-no.
How is this the world that we live in?
Was it traditionally published?
Yes.
Yeah, I would assume so.
It was
because traditional publishing has been sketchy for decades.
That's how. I'm trying to remember.
But I figure it goes through so many hands. Like somebody had to be like, I don't think this is kosher. Can we maybe go back to the drawing board?
That one person in all cases always says something, and I'm convinced that they always ignore them. Because I've been in a company where they've been doing something, and I've been like, and I say something, and they're like, yeah. And then it goes ahead, and I'm like,
yeah.
When you get called out for that, I'll just remember.
Totally, we'll take what you said into account. Yeah, we'll We'll get back to them. We'll see.
Just remember that I'm the one that was like, excuse me.
Yeah. Just have receipts. Just always have receipts. Like they can cover it. It's like tax season, baby.
It's one of those things where I'm just like, how do people think they can get away with these things?
Because
they don't even question the thing that they're doing. Like they don't even get to how do I get away with this? They just do it.
they just don't see the problem with it.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what's trending right now?
This
Black main characters. You know what we should put on our cover? A black side character. Boom.
But it's just really not even a side character. She's only there for
she's there for like 2 seconds. And the weird thing to me is like it was a very pretty cover. Like it was done really well. Very beautiful cover. Like you could have made a cover similar to that with the actual main character on the cover. And it still would have sold the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, in a time where there are legitimately people who are less likely to pick up a book with a black character on the cover, why are you... I don't...
They fundamentally don't understand the issues that they're trying to fix. They just don't understand why these things are a problem, and they don't care to learn. And that's why. They're like, oh, yeah, see, like, we're trying, we're helping. And, like, Shay... is giving them more of the benefit of the doubt than I am, because she's like, you know, and I don't even think
all they can see is the numbers. All they can see is the statistics. They have like, this is hot right now. This is how many people are looking these up and talking about them and like doing the social media like walks. Like they're running word of mouth advertising for free while utilizing these like subjects. They don't everything is so divorced from what it actually is and what it actually looks like. They can't touch it. It's like intangible to them. It's they can't even see it. They just know this type makes this money. This is the formula of capitalism. Run with it.
Yeah, it's bad. And then they remade the cover, right? But then they still put her on the cover just with other characters. But if she is still only in the book for 2 seconds.
They changed the cover, and I haven't seen what they changed the character to. I just linked it in the chat, the video that I seen it on yesterday. I was actually watching that because of all of the TJ Klune drama and just happened to see that as well. So, I mean, not that we live in a very high drama world right now, so. I love Jess Owens's like style of the book community videos, because she kind of just takes like all of the information and presents it forward, like all of her research and the information that she has, and is like, so this is the thing that I found, and this is the information that's out there. And sometimes she'll side with one side or another, but it's pretty obvious like which side is the correct side just from like the information. But she doesn't like, I don't feel like she like attacks anyone specifically.
It's informative more than...
Yes, it's informative versus like scathing, which is good, because I feel like when you are trying to inform people that they're incorrect, if you are like more scathing, they're less likely to listen to you than if you're just like, here are the facts.
I just like that I don't have to figure out what people are subtweeting about anymore. I like look and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like,
yes.
I'll wait for the video.
I'll wait for the video. It's fine.
Having to backtrack to find the source of the drama is like, oh my gosh, there are too many threads.
Especially now, because like people create drama from things that were not drama.
Oh, absolutely.
For the purposes of like clout and likes. So like half the time it's like, but I don't know. I am confused about why people are still like cool with sharing their hot takes when it almost always goes poorly.
Here's my unpopular opinion. Please roast me in the comments, basically, is how that goes.
I mean, it generates content, like...
It's almost always on Twitter, too, which is like... Which is why I don't use Twitter. Because it's a dumpster fire. Like, you can't say anything. Like, you can't even be like, yo, the world is round, without someone coming at you.
The flat earthers are gonna get you, Jess. Don't say that out loud.
Like, I'm standing here and I took a picture with this long angle lens that's, you can see that city over there that's 23 miles away. Where's the curve? We're not round. Like, oh my God. Why?
Just post information there. I'm there for the DM group chats mostly, and like looking at people's tweets. And I like to boost other people's promo stuff, but like, I don't know. I only tweet things that nobody cares about, like
I like
Dylan O'Brien or something.
Yeah, me too.
I only like mainly retweet, boost and follow the Legend of Zelda tag and Critical Role. But
follow
like
Odd Taxi. They're great. They need more love.
I have my Instagram set to my Tumblr and my Tumblr set to my Twitter, and so I post on my Instagram and it posts on my Tumblr and my Tumblr posts on my Twitter.
I can tell you when the last time was I posted on Twitter, but I don't know. Was it even a post, or was it like I did a thing a couple of months ago where I used one of the apps to like delete everything off of my Twitter, like everything except for the past year. Literally the last thing, I'll know that, is that a pinned comment? No. When's that from? Okay. So the last thing that I posted on Twitter was when oh my gosh, his name just left me. English language, help a girl out. Nope, not happening. Not happening. Oh my God, Bozeman, the main character from Black Panther. Wow, why is this
Chadwick?
Yes, I'm like, it's eluding me. I can't think of it.
I was like, no context clues have been given yet.
Help a girl
We
out.
want to help you.
When he died and Marvel posted like a forever, long live the king, Wakanda forever. That's the last thing I posted. That was like November of last year. That was the last thing I posted on Twitter. See?
That like almost made me cry, yo.
Right. So I went through and deleted everything prior to a year before, because I have been on Twitter since Twitter started, which was a long ass time ago. And I was very young, and I think I was like in my late teens, early 20s. And I don't know about y'all, but I have changed a lot since my late teens, early 20s. Especially like my viewpoints of the world, because I have seen more of it and have experienced more of it, as I am from a teeny tiny little town with like a population of 99.8% white people.
Yeah.
So as I have grown, my opinions, my thoughts and things have changed. And I don't want anyone to ever like see something that I posted 15 years ago and think that that's still me now. It's definitely not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they pull out people's old tweets so often.
Yeah.
And like,
And
if
act
they
like people have never changed.
Right. If you posted something a decade ago and like you're still posting stuff like that now, that's one thing. But like if you posted one comment 10 years ago and you've like never done anything again since then, like I have a hard time completely canceling you because of that. Now, if you're continuing to do things, then sure. But just because Twitter is the way Twitter is, I was like, I'm just going to delete everything. Like, I don't know what's there. I'm not going to look through it. I'm just going to delete it all. Who cares? Like, I don't. If I mean,
looking through it is just like a nightmare, like an existential nightmare anyway. So just having an app do that for you is kind of, for mental health reasons, exactly what you need to do.
Well, I don't know if anybody else gets like their I do still have a Facebook account with very few people on it.
Oh my God, what's Facebook?
Right. And there's like I get the memories thing, and I'll see my like comments from, again, you know, I started Facebook when I was in college, when it first started out, and you had to be in a university to use it.
Mhm.
And I'll be like, and it'll be like, went to the store and got a Mountain Dew, or I'm bored. Anybody want to hang out? Like, that's my whole feed. No one cares.
Oh my
Why?
God. I
Like,
had to
why
delete
are you?
so many Facebook because I was on Facebook when I was like 13, and I was like, I can't. Nobody. I need to scrub this from the internet.
Oh no!
You're the worst. You're the worst.
I like seeing that, not posts from 13-year-old, but I like the aftermath. Like, I like people who are adults now, like, and they're like, whoa, the differences between their childhoods being on the internet and, say, my childhood. I grew up in Saudi Arabia. We didn't have internet. So, like, it's just like, I had the ability to be feral and just like a wild animal running around, like doing crazy stuff and not having to be exposed to the rest of the world because I was like in Saudi Arabia. It's a desert wrapped in desert. Like, you can't get out of there.
I definitely think, like, because we are the same age, so
Yes.
I did not get internet in my house until I was like maybe 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And it was like dial-up internet.
Yes.
So like I was only allowed on like an hour a day because otherwise like
the phones
the parents
will go
couldn't
off.
get their phone calls.
The screaming up the stairs. Get off the internet.
Right.
Stop playing Doom.
I mean, I had a MySpace like when I was 16. But MySpace was
Live
cool.
journal.
I mean, can we go back to like MySpace was way cooler than Facebook. I still stand on that hill today. Like, original MySpace is still way cooler than Facebook.
My wife actually worked for them.
I needed to come back and be cool like it used to be.
Yeah.
But I just want to like decide what song should play first and like rearrange my top 8 and not offend my friends and like spend 6 hours picking out a background.
Oh, yes. Terrible.
I'm that generation where I didn't get internet until I've moved out from my parents' home. So I didn't get internet until Author was a big thing.
Yeah, my mom worked with computers, so we had internet super early and a computer super early. So like I was 8 and using the internet and stuff, but like I couldn't do that much. I just played like Neopets and stuff.
Oh, Neopets was great.
Have you heard about the Neopocalypse? There's so much Neopets drama that's happening there.
Oh my god,
it's great.
Is it still a thing?
It is still a thing. I think it finally imploded in on itself around March 2021, but I haven't gone back in there to check it out. Like, I don't actually have a Neopets account. I just follow people who talk about like nerd stuff. And this one just struck me in the nostalgia feels, so I had to absorb all this information that I'm never going to be able to use, except for now. I did it.
Except for right now. Remember chat rooms when we were young, and you just like went to Yahoo chats and like found a subject that you were interested in and went to the chat room and found all of the old pervs.
I never chatted with strangers, but
me neither.
I was stranger danger warned, so I only chatted with friends.
I didn't have internet at home, but my best friend had internet, and I used hers. But this also meant that my parents didn't really teach me much internet safety, other than every stranger I talk to ever is a 40-year-old man who wants to kidnap me, chain me in their basement. And I'm like, yay, anyway, anime, role plays, fan fiction in the random chat rooms. So this actually, I met my husband on fanfiction.net.
Oh, that's adorable.
Definitely was not supposed to be emailing people on fanfiction.net. I wasn't even supposed to have an email, but like my best friend's mom didn't give two fucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I made an email on their AOL. But yes.
Oh, back in the day. That's a conversation. I'm thinking about like how we used to download like the skins and like all of their clothes and make the little dolls out of it, add things together. Oh god, all the time.
I remember when my friend and I would set like 10 music videos to download and then not touch the computer while we went over and like played games, and I can just go to YouTube for music videos.
Downloading stuff from Napster. Whole cases of CDs that were just burnt CDs from Napster and LimeWire.
LimeWire, that's one I used.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That's how I got a lot of anime too. That's how I got like the entire like first arc-ish of Naruto.
I feel really old now. Can I help you? Like laid down on my arm.
I remember the time before the CD.
Cassette, yeah, I had a Walkman.
I had a Walkman with cassette tapes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also had a mini disc player.
The mini disc.
Yes.
Yeah.
The music quality was so good. Like you could burn anything you wanted on these, and like the music quality was just so perfect. I love them so much.
So we actually have some vinyls.
Ooh.
We have a vinyl player, I think, over there.
I mean, it's all relevant, right? Like it's all.
I like being exactly my age, though. Like I don't
being
want
my
to,
age.
right?
Especially
I don't
when
want to
you're
be
a timeless
pressured by
deity,
anybody
so
else.
It doesn't matter anymore.
I don't have issues with how old I am. I don't, just because if I did, I wouldn't tell people how old I am. I don't feel like I'm old. It's like when you think back about like the way things were different, it makes you feel like it feels like
it's the world has changed so much. It's the thing where it's like, man, I feel old, right? It's like I feel old and I feel my age, but people get defensive or will start trying to reassure you, oh, but it's fine, you're not that old. And it's like, I have seen this earth change for 30 years. I have witnessed things. I didn't say it was bad. I've earned these years, damn it. So
I've earned all of my glorious white hairs, and they are staying on my head.
I mean, I feel so young all the time until my teenage son is using the word sus. And I'm just going,
oh my God.
What does that even mean?
Everything is sus. No. Red is sus. The children are sus.
Feel old.
I literally messaged someone yesterday using that because I was messaging about their book while I was reading it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know her, but on Sarah Cahill, Sarah Cahill is one of my critique partners, and they're just like whole sections that I've highlighted on her Google Docs with just like the word sus like as a comment.
Yes, though, like some things suspicious.
It's like I know who the main villain is. It's this one.
I remember the other half of my point about being old.
Yes.
Now, it's that like the whole issue comes from the fact that society tries to tell you that old is bad.
Yep.
That getting old is bad. And it's like, but it's not. You gain experience. And like
you're less liable to let BS slide.
Well, I've been like that since I was 3. But the common human is, in fact, like once they hit 30, they just stop giving any and all fucks that they had.
But you know more now. You know that this is BS now. You can be like, stop it. Like at 3 years old, you're like, yeah, you know, this milk kind of sus. Like crunchy peanut butter on sandwiches, kind of sus.
No, like at 3 years old, my aunt was trying to tell me things, and I was like, you could stop being condescending now. Like I used big words at 3. My grandfather will tell me all the time that like I would sing, there's so much more to this provincial life. And I actually knew what provincial meant. Mm-hmm. Which at 20, I was like, did I? What the fuck's provincial? Oh, profit. Okay, I get it. So,
yeah,
like, nah, I've always been a little shit. That's just how I was born and bred.
We talk about like men who date like much younger women. It isn't because they find them more attractive. It's because they're more likely to put up with their bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like they're at an impressionable age where like they typically, this generalization, will bow down to like authority, or will just it doesn't even have to like seem or feel insidious. It's more like, oh well, my boyfriend's like 5-6 years older than me, he's more experienced, he's more worldly, he knows more than I do, and like that's what they want. Whereas women their own age will be like, look here, motherfucker, I pay my bills, I pay my telephone bill. That's also copywritten. And it's like,
I'm an adult who pays taxes.
Yeah. I do like this girl that was super excited about discovering skorts. Like it's the first time anybody's ever made skorts.
It's so pure though, and I'm like, we all do that. Like we've all had that terrible moment where
I discovered you too, by the way. I just need you guys to know this. I discovered you too. No one else did.
Like I love when like a video game version of that is when my kids start playing a game that I played when I was a child, and they're like, Mom, you can throw the cuckoo down the well. And I'm like, you can, it's great, right? Or they're just like, what was it the other day?
Bayonetta?
Yes, like my son was all like, Mom, Dad's playing Bayonetta and he beat it, but he's on chapter 5 because he's getting trophies. And I'm like, yes, I know. So I know that your father is a trophy hunter. But he's like, Mom, he's getting all the trophies. And I'm like, yep, that's awesome. He is.
Congratulations. Like a gold star for staying in the audience.
But it's cute though. That's cute. He discovered trophies. I remember being that age and just being like, there's more content on this content.
That's trippy.
We talk about Phineas and Ferb in like a really funny way because my a couple of my nephews are very Phineas and Ferb shaped. Like one's really tall and skinny and has like the big like square head, and the other one is very short and stout and has like a weird triangular shaped head. So we have our own little Phineas and Ferb.
That's making me think of that TikTok sound that's like, long term think this is gonna fuck with me. I'm like, yeah, maybe that would. I feel like that's just the cycle of generations, but I think of me being a kid and calling my mom's record a giant CD, and like I roasted her so hard in that moment without even knowing that I'm just like, it's just gonna cycle back.
Karma's gonna get you.
Yeah. Well, like I watch Amanda Rachley, who is like a planner channel, and her June bullet journal theme was like the psychedelic fabrics and colors of like the 70s, but also the early 2000s, because it was popular in the 70s, it was popular in the early 2000s, and it's coming back again. And it's just like you see stuff and it like the way that it cycles through, and it's very I mean, it's the same in publishing, it's the same in a lot of things, like things that were popular 20 years ago just like suddenly become popular again. And now that we're at this age, we're like, I know all about these things and I can be excited again. Whereas like when we were in our teens and things were coming back in fashion, like we weren't around when it was in fashion the first time. So we're just like, this is dumb. But now we're like, oh my gosh, I know these things. I can relate to people. But
yeah, it's really different. Like my mom,
I remember
when I was a teenager, and she was like, when I was younger, these were cheap and they were like poor people's shoes. And she's like, no, you're getting them and they're $50 a pop. And they're super popular. And this is why you need them. And I was like, I didn't need to hear your background. Yes. Are you buying them from
are you buying them or not?
I had purple glitter chucks.
It's like, this is unnecessary world building exposition, mother. Could you get that out?
Get to the goods, mother.
I remember from my childhood that we had long overalls where you have those straps around and the pocket in the front. Nowadays, it's just shorts, and then the rest is overall.
Yeah. There's the long ones too, though. I see lots of like people wearing like the full like dungarees thing. It's like back in now.
I saw some in like full corduroy the other day, and like my brain literally went, but I want it. It's so ugly. I must own this.
Well, when we were kids, though, they had those, but they weren't popular. Like if you were like someone who was wearing those, like occasionally kids would make fun of you for wearing like the overall thing. But now it's back and it's more popular. Like you're super popular, like living the perfect girl lifestyle if you have a pair of short overalls.
Yeah. I
can't wear them now, but the way my body is shaped, they just make me look like I'm pregnant. Which is true, and it's with most clothing. The way that I'm shaped, I have to be very careful about the way that things are cut because they make me look very pregnant.
Yeah,
which is fine, but I'd rather be fat than pregnant. So
that's why I don't like sundresses right now. Because like Chris and I took my measurements recently because I like to keep them updated for when I shop and look for patterns and stuff. And my waist is 2 inches bigger than my chest, and I was like, oh man, now I have to lose. I have to like work out a bit. And he said something, and I'm like, you don't understand. If my stomach is out farther than my titties, I look pregnant, and that's just not okay.
Right.
So we got to fix this situation. And so I hate sundresses for that reason. I'm like, this looks like a maternity dress. Yeah, I did my time. I'm good.
3 years of it in Azkaban.
5 years of it in Azkaban. Sort of.
Overalls.
Oh my god, no! Sadie!
The sad thing is mine would probably wear that willingly. She'd just be like, oh, look at the velvet. It's soft, mommy. It's fuzzy. I like fuzzy. And then she'd put it on and run around the house. I did laundry yesterday, and I hung up like 10 princess dresses. I'm certain. All different ones, too. There was Rapunzel and Elsa and a witch princess dress, a pumpkin, 3 Elsas.
Pumpkin princess, awesome.
Oh, she loves her.
For every occasion.
We call her Pumpkin. We've called her Pumpkin since she was little. It sounds cute, but it's because her head reminded me of a pumpkin. So, when she was born. But like Chris just kept calling her Pumpkin because he thought it was cute, and now she identifies as like Pumpkin is one of her names and like her aesthetic. So if she sees like a shirt with a pumpkin, she wants it. If she like has a little pumpkin toy and she's like, I am Pumpkin, it's Pumpkin. So we're like,
She goes ham
I'm
around Halloween.
sane.
Exactly. Oh yeah, she goes when Halloween. She's like, "Oh, the pumpkins! I'm
That's adorable.
pumpkin." So that's actually her pumpkin dress is a Halloween costume. She was like, "It's a pumpkin witch princess." It was just a pumpkin witch, but according to her, it's a pumpkin witch princess.
Well, everything's a princess, clearly.
Yes, according to her. Unless she wants to be a queen that day, then she's a queen.
Oh,
she has her moods.
Fair. To be fair, Elsa is.
I deserve a promotion.
Yeah, exactly. To both.
I don't know why, but I'm super tired.
You've had like 12 hours of sleep for 3 days. Like, I don't I don't understand why you're asking this question.
I feel very tired all of a sudden, and I don't know why.
Well, we were just talking about the passage of time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm slowly draining the energy out of everyone. That's how I'm sustaining myself.
I mean, fair. My mouse quit working because it's the devil. Okay, there we go. I like they now make fun of our side parts.
I don't understand it because, like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Go on.
Side parts. They make fun of our side parts.
I just don't understand why making fun of the side parts. It's just the thing. Some people's head look better with a side part. Some people's head look better with a middle part. Some people just don't give a fuck and wear their hair the way they want it.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I understand that generation has reached teenagehood and therefore they're in the stage of I know everything and
I have to roast everything, even though I don't know what it is.
You know what? They have their fun roasting side parts. It's whatever.
So Gen Z is past that now. Gen Z is like, aren't they like 21, 22, something like that?
No, that's still, well, it's
Like,
complicated.
Devasia, are you not a Gen Z?
I don't know.
That question.
So I don't actually
I identify as a cusper.
So here's the thing. Babies born in 1999 are turning 22 this year. So Gen Z, I think, starts in 96. So I think the oldest,
Okay.
96 or 97, one of those two. So the oldest Gen Zers would be 24. So the majority of Gen Zers should still be
fall into the teen range. Yeah.
So like they're just starting to get into the early 20s, but also the early 20s is not the most mature age either because you're hitting your.
I would never go back.
There's like 3 or 4 different puberties you hit before you're 30. There's the one when you're 12, like that's the one everybody associates with puberty. But then in your late teens and early 20s, you actually hit a second puberty, which is why a lot of early 20-year-olds have bad judgment because their brains have started doing the whole chemical shift around thing again. And then in your late 20s, early 30s, you hit your final puberty before you're like menopausal.
Yeah. I always just think it's like this. I feel like every generation just like roasts some sort of generation.
Yeah, it's all, but it's cyclical. It's always when the younger generation hits their teens to early 20s is when the generation wars will start because they're like old enough to do the generation war. So, like, no 5-year-olds roasting anybody in an older generation.
I don't know how many 5-year-olds have you talked to lately? Because
I mean, your 9-year-old roasted you. So.
No, he trolled me. That's the difference. He fucking trolled me good. But that's different though, because he was just like trolling me. He wasn't going, "Mom, your whole ass generation sucks because you part your hair to the side." It's very different than the generational wars.
My nephew was over the other day, and he was really enjoying pretending like he doesn't know my name. And I'm like, "But I live here. Like, you're in my house. Get out of my house." He's like, "It's not your house. It's your mom's house." And I'm like, But how do you know who pays the bills? You don't see who pays the bills. Maybe she lives in my house. I'm here more often than she is. And it's like, yeah, I still don't know your name. I'm like, what? Like, you're like 7. I still don't know your name.
See, but here's
Why
the
are
thing.
you negging me, child?
Small children can be brats. A lot of them can have some sociopathic tendencies you got to teach out of them. That's not the same as the generational war, though. That's a very different bag of cookies.
I like cookies. I will say, we vaguely talked about this the other day in a conversation, and I don't remember if it was an online conversation or an in-life conversation, or if I was having the conversation with myself in a dream. Where people like talk about how bad things are, like as a whole in the world, like how terrible things are, like drugs are bad and murder is bad and like things are really bad. I'm like, but in comparison to like when Genghis Khan was alive or the Roman Empire, like, is it really that bad in comparison to like complete and utter, like they would just go and destroy like 20 countries at one time and just kill everybody?
Arguably, that's still happening to this day.
That's
only
true.
with like automatic weaponry and drone strikes and the entirety of Palestine at the moment right now.
Correct.
But like, look, feudalism bad. Everything is terrible. We should be socialists.
But to me, it's not that like the things aren't still happening. It's the people act like it was so much better before.
Yeah, it wasn't. Everything sucked. Only there wasn't plumbing then.
Right. Everything was bad, but also there wasn't plumbing. We have plumbing now. We should be happy. We don't have to poop in little boxes outside in the cold in winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, romanticizing the bad, the bad, romanticizing the past can be a issue.
Well, because if you forget the past, you're doomed to relive it. Therefore, you should remember that it was bad and try to stop that from happening.
Romanticizing the past is a form of traditionalism. It's a form of like keeping the hierarchical power structures
And
exactly. Yeah, the status quo exactly where they're at. If you keep talking about how good it was in the past when these people were the ones who were on top, then like that's why like traditionalism exists. They want to keep power where the power is right now. They don't want that to flow through. They don't want equality. They don't want to lose a sense of whatever it is they have, because everybody is scared. Everybody's scared of losing out to somebody else. And that's one of the reasons why like generational anxiety happens. It's one of the reasons why there's a strong hint of conservatism that's running through the country right now, because even there are white families who are poor who are looking at other families who are also poor, and they're getting exactly as crapped on by the world, but they're like, but at least I'm not that, and I can get my own. Like there's always a struggle for power. Why do I always bring politics into a thing? I'm just gonna
like I'm gonna slowly back away. Listen, it's a chat about all things, and all things are important.
I like how we were going to talk about fandoms.
We're talking about fandom. Look, I have a fandom. It is, to be fair, most books that I love that have like a really intense fandom that I love, the societal and political issues are the parts of the books that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
I love that.
Because they're able to fix things so much easier than we are, because it's one person in control of everything, and it's the author that's in control. Like, if they could just make me the dictator for like a month, I could fix a lot of things.
I've had that when I rule the world.
For
These
sure.
are the 6 things I'm going to fix immediately, and these are the other ones that are going to be time released.
I mean, it's why I'm a writer, because I rule that fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. The people who romanticize, I think they show both their privilege and just ignorance too. Which ignorance in itself can be a form of privilege, but
And also a lack of empathy. Yeah.
They're not wrong. Which is a good thing to not
Sherry
be
is awake now. I'm sorry. Go on.
better for who. What was the other thing the other day that was in a similar conversational topic? The government is considering giving Jeff Bezos a $10 billion bailout for his space exploration failure. And I'm like, you do realize this is the richest person in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to take taxpayer dollars to give him a $10 billion bailout, and he already is the richest person in the country?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
What you should do instead is give every person in the United States $30, because that's what it would equal out to, is about $30. And then we can all just spend it on Amazon like we were going to anyway, and then he can get the money still, but we get something in return.
Yes.
Or hear me out. We just cancel student loan debt. We'll just do that.
Yes.
Out of the way.
I see that.
That's
That
way
would
more than
be
$10
good.
billion.
Oh, do mine first, please.
Yeah. There was a tweet about like millennials aren't doing the things at this age that we thought they would be doing, and I was
Oh,
like,
you think? I wonder why.
It's like they're paying off debt. It's like you told them this thing would get them a job. Which
Okay,
was
back in the
not
day, though,
necessarily
back in the
true.
day, there was no such thing as Sally Mae, and that's who's like got that butter knife to my throat, right?
Right. My sister has like, I think she said 60 grand in student loan debt. She's a decade older than me, by the way.
Yep.
Has 60 grand in student loan debt, and she said that like she has, I believe, oh god, did she go back to get her master's? I think she did, but it's like in social work is what her study
Nice.
path. There we go, words. And like the main, like the head income that you could get from that job position in our state is like under $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does it cost so much to go to school to get a job that you'll never be able to pay that back?
Mm-hmm.
I do not understand. I don't get it.
Because they figured out that after they sold the dream of college and a job and a nice life, that they could jack up the price of college and then start the student loan thing to make money, because student loans weren't really a thing before our generation.
Right.
I believe it is one of the major and biggest issue of making an educational system built upon privatization and capitalism.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. In Denmark, we get our ground education for free, paid by our taxes, which is the reason why our taxes is that high.
Yeah.
And when we move up the educational ladder, we can apply to get money from the government to pay for lack of income in those years.
Yeah, because in Canada, ours is, well, you can get private loans, but a lot of people can get the government loan, which is what I had and was able to pay off. But school in Canada is also, even though it's very expensive, it's still like significantly lower than a US thing. Like I did 5 years of school and I equaled out at 40,000.
But the base of the Danish system of getting money from the government is it's not a loan.
Yeah, grant.
They're just paying you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then if you don't think you make enough money by that to cover your expenses, then you can take a loan from the government. and it's like 4% of what is it called in English? 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
4%
of interest.
Interest. Thank you. And that's over the first. As long as you are under education, you don't have to pay it back, and it don't pick up interests.
Yeah.
When you're done with your education, then you need to pay back, and then they begin on those 4% of interest. So we don't really get that. Oh, I'm gonna be in way up over my head all my entire life. So that's a really, really great thing about Denmark. Yes, we are paying around 60% of our salary in taxes, but we have free access to medical health.
About that, we don't.
Yeah, I know. It's why I'm mentioning it. We get paid when we are on holidays from our company. And really, we don't have to pay that much in taxes other than we already have paid by our salaries. So it's kind of like, yeah, I really wish that the American people would wake up one day and see the light.
It's not necessarily that we've all been asleep this whole time. Like when
see the light.
When this government started.
So here's the problem with the statement, the American people. A lot of the rest of the world wants to blame the people. But here's the thing. We're doing what we can. But a lot of the middle class in America has actually disappeared. It's become the working class and the lower class. And we don't have time. A lot of working class people can't get off work to go vote. They can't do anything, not in local elections, not in any other elections. That we are in the middle of having to fight a revolution to get anything changed on any level. And it's slow, but it's working. And most of the people who hold the power have money. They have status. They don't really want things to change. They don't really, want. We just talk about taxing the higher income brackets, and all of a sudden, like, our government shut itself down 2 years in a row, throwing a tissy fit because they didn't want to tax the higher tax brackets.
And this can even be like traced all the way back to the foundational the foundational government. Like the reason that we have the kind of bank systems that we do have is because America at the time was fresh ground. It was fresh, capitalism-friendly ground. There was no one here who could stop anybody from generating all of this capital. And we have the Chicago School of Economics, which, by the way, has messed over a lot of South America. Thank you. And we basically they came up to the government, all of these insurance companies during I think after FDR, and went, we're not going to do what England is doing with nationalized healthcare. Let's just have them pay us and it'll be totally Gucci. We promise.
I have a resolution that will resolve 65% of our government's problems. I will die on this hill, okay?
Age restrictions?
Our government, we pay these morons to represent us. They get paid. And they get to vote on their own raises, which is a whole other thing. So my spiel is that anyone who works for the government, whether it's a mayor, a congressperson, the president, Senate member, whatever, their pay should be the median of the people that they represent. That's what they should make. They should make the median of the group of people that they represent. Because if their money is tied to how much money we make, they're going to make sure that we make more money. They're going to figure out ways for us to make more money if it ties to their paycheck. I want that. That's what I want. I want their paycheck to be the median income of the populace that they represent. It'll never happen.
On that one.
It'll never happen. But that's what needs to happen.
Yep.
I like suddenly pictured a bunch of like people that want to be senators moving to California en masse.
My home state.
I also think that if you have a system like that, then the poorer places that need the representation, the people that would be representing them are going to be the people that really want to represent them, that really want to help them, that want to work for them. Because originally that's what our government positions were. You had another job. You didn't make money being a representative. You had a job, and you only went and were a representative during the on season. That's why they have an off season for the government positions, because they had to have another job to earn their money. And it has changed over the years, and they have changed the way that works. But if you change it to a system where the people who are representing these poorer communities that aren't getting the representation that they need and they deserve to make their lives better, that means the person who's fighting for them is fighting for them because they want to fight for them, because they want to represent them and they want to make their lives better, versus just, well, if I go in, I represent this small little community that I don't give a shit about, I'm going to get a shit ton of money. Yeah. And I'm going to overpromise and oversell and then just go sit in my seat and make all kinds of money.
Overpromise, never deliver.
Yes.
Vixen,
Underpromise, always deliver should be the correct response.
I agree. So Vixen made a very good point. It says many Americans are afraid. Yeah, that's the one. Of what happens when you take 60% of their income. Like, it would take us so much to transition to the. Yeah, like literally, I don't think we would be able to live at the moment if 60% of our income was gone.
It seems like it would be a very long-term transition, like, you know,
to like a slow one.
I'm following an American couple who have moved to Denmark, and they're making explanational YouTube content where they explain the difference between America and Denmark, and they have calculated just on the absolute basic of taxes between US and Denmark, and they have come to the conclusion you pay way much more in overall taxes when everything is done and said throughout a year than the Danish people does with a 60% of income taxes.
Yes, but currently, like, we don't have systems in place for it to be equatable.
I know.
Yeah. So, like, at the moment, whatever, I don't remember the exact percent that we pay for insurance premium to cover what our insurance covers. If that was increased to, like, come out of my husband's paycheck, we would not be able to pay our current bills and keep food in the house if we lost 60% of our income. And it's like, because the whole tax thing, like, everything would have to be rehauled. Systems would have to be put in place and all of that before we could be able to do that and the working class still be able to survive.
I would just like them to get rid of, like, car insurance too, like, because car insurance is one of, like, the biggest hurdles for people to have transportation in this country that killed public transportation. Like, a lot of the times, like, especially like when I was I was a chef for a long time, and we don't get paid a lot of money. So like, and I would have to travel everywhere in my vehicle, and like at some point I just couldn't afford paying insurance for my car, so I would have to take public transportation everywhere. And it took like 4 hours for me to get from my house in San Fernando Valley to West Hollywood, where I work. Like that's dumb. That like took so much out of my life, and that's like one way. So sorry that I went on a tangent.
No, you're good. I was gonna say part of one of the things that I love about the Libertarian Party in the United States, because we do have more than two parties, in case you didn't know. The Libertarian Party typically believes that you should completely get rid of income tax and place higher tax on the things that you're purchasing without loopholes. So like the rich people would inadvertently be paying more in taxes because they spend more money. They spend more money on like yachts and parties and things like that. And I think that would be the only way that we could go to a system where like 60% of our stuff is going to, or even like 40-50% is going towards education and healthcare, is if rather than taxing straight out of our paycheck, they put higher taxes on the things that we purchase, because then you would have, like, if you couldn't afford, you know, the video game that month, then you can't afford the video game that month, but you still have food and water and all of the things that you need to have to survive. I think that's probably the only way that they could make that kind of a change. But again, I don't know for sure, because I am privileged to not have lived in that type of dire straits. I live with my mom, who pays the majority of our bills. So
oh, Emmy is spitting tea right now. Yep.
yeah, they said we're in a baby bust right now in the United States because people can't afford to have children.
Like, I literally can't. Even if I wanted to, I literally can't afford to have a child.
People can't afford to have a house to house a child.
Yeah.
So where are you like people in like big cities and stuff too? Like, what can you get realistically, unless you want to live like really, really far out, which like is not always necessarily viable.
Yeah. Again, I because of the panini, you know, I haven't been able to work as a chef for a while, but I cannot work as a chef outside of a city. Like the kind of food that I do, the kind of like food that I love to make, like they all center in like big cities, and big cities are where you just can't afford to have nice things.
Yeah.
I live in a basement.
And I, like I said, I definitely come at it from a perspective of privilege, because as I said, we're not rich by any means. We're definitely working class people, but we're on the higher end of that. So I definitely have that ability to be more relaxed with where my money goes, because I don't have children. I don't have like major house payment bills and things. I definitely have bills, and I have things that I pay and that I'm responsible for.
Absolutely,
But,
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't, that's the thing, like I'm 34 almost, and I live with my mom. But also, it's just the two of us here, and neither one of us could afford to live on our own in the society that we live in. So my choice as a 34-year-old woman is, do I continue living with my mom, who I know all of her pet peeves and quirks and issues and what things we fight about and how we get along, or do I move out and move in with a stranger who, or, you know, even someone that I know that I've never lived with as a roommate, and have to learn all of that over again, just so that I don't have to say, like, I live with my mom.
There's also like that with your mother, there's like blood security. With a complete stranger or someone that you don't know, there's like there's that you can move away from this person, basically. Like you don't have, like they're not attached to you.
Well, and it's like, do I know if these other people are going to pay their bills? Like, I don't know. Like, I know who pays her bills. Are they going to pay their bills? Are they going to pay their half? Or are they going to be like some kind of weird drug addict? Like, I don't know. Like, I know what her things are. It's so much easier to just live with her, knowing like how she operates, than to have to like try to, So definitely am okay with being like, I'm 34 and I live with my mom. If that's not okay with you, I don't know what to tell you. So
yeah.
I could live with that. I could be behind that.
Should we take a little quick dance around to get the muscles moving? And
I mean, we have
danced for 3 hours. No, I'm out.
Dance around, get up and stretch. You know, those things.
Yeah, not dancing, just stretching, moving the muscles.
Good.
I'm going to stand off screen.
But I'm going to be completely honest. Lizelle convinced me to buy this chair that I'm currently sitting. I won't blame it on her because she's here.
How much was the chair? I need a new chair. I'm sitting on an uncomfy kitchen chair. I've been on it for over 10 hours. My ass cannot feel itself.
Oh no.
It's not a great chair. This is where I'm going. So,
damn it.
It's not uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable. But like, it's also not like you can't like like in a regular computer chair, like you can relax and be like super this is like the most like perfect posture inducing chair. I mean, maybe in the long run it'll be better for my back. I don't really know. It's like it forces you to be like to sit upright and like have good posture, and like it's really hard to not have good posture in this chair. So like thanks for the posture, but like my butt hurts and I got a lot of cushion back there, so it shouldn't hurt.
Very like
I have exactly your chair, and I do not have butt problems. So I think it's just it might be the construction of your physical chair, but what I do is I hook my foot on the other side and I just go.
I mean, I can sit back. It doesn't go back either. Like, there's no like.
Pull the tab on the side.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't though. Like, it doesn't.
It
doesn't though. Like, there's
no. It doesn't go back.
It doesn't have any spring back.
That's. Is it broken?
Maybe, I don't know.
But you couldn't have lived with the fingers chair, so.
But you're right. I'm glad I didn't get the finger chair because I would have been like, why am I sitting in a giant hand? I don't know. It doesn't look like a hand until Lizelle points it out to you, and then you're like, why does this look? You're right. It's a giant hand.
It was a giant come hither hand.
Like this, like.
It was very upsetting.
I've seen this chair. I know what you're talking about. Oh.
Yeah, I've only had it for a couple of weeks, so I think that part of it too is just like I need to like to break it in.
Break her in, yeah.
It's definitely more comfortable than my other chair. Not in like the relaxing part, but just like the fact that the other one had a weird texture on the seat. And so, I mean, I'm at my house and I'm wearing pajama shorts because that's how I live my life. And it had a weird texture on the seats that would then like imprint on my legs and would be like very ouchy, pain inducing. And I'd have to like put pillows and stuff on the chair to prevent that, and it was not comfortable. So. It's been a weird, random tangent. Let's talk about the government and the economy and student loans, and then talk about how this fan chair is weird. Oh, wow, Jessica. This chat you're running.
On a more book-related tantrum.
What books? The
Books, writing.
I'm gonna shuffle these, and then we can use them as topics instead of games.
Do it.
I will pose a question that I posed last night in the dance chat. If you could live in any TV show or movie that you watch, which world would you want to live in? The problem that I have found from the show last night is that most of us really enjoy like paranormal type shows with vampires and werewolves and witches and things. And well, we wouldn't live. That's the problem. We would die.
Well, hold on. But like, what if by being transported into this paranormal world where magic is now a very common thing, I genuinely become an ancient immortal deity of mysterious origin?
But what if isekai though? But what if it's an isekai? So I mean,
I'd be the main character, so I'd be OP, so that'd be fine too.
You'd have like cheat skills.
Or you just be like a side character, like or not even a side character, just like a peasant, and like
you'd just be living in the world. It's not like you are the main character of the TV show or the
no.
You're just living in the world.
I was just making a joke because that's what happens in isekais. In isekai, you get the main character gets transported. So that was like a genre specific qualifier. But yeah, see, I would be down with going into a paranormal world if I then take on my ancient immortal thing, and I don't have to like have anything to do with the plot. I could just live in like my mansion that I've accumulated because I'm an ancient immortal deity, and I'd be down with that.
Sam would live in Vampire Diaries, and she would have been one of the original vampires. Ancient immortal deity with mysterious origins. I mean, come on.
Like Klaus and I would be tight because he'd be my bro.
Leverage is fair.
Yeah.
I would like to be a part of Charm.
Charmed would be good.
Charmed. The original broadcast of it. And I would be one of the 3 charmed witches.
I have 2 sisters, so I must avoid any and all things with the power of 3, because then they'd just be sucked in with me. I don't want to deal with that.
I have 4.
That's technically how the original Charm did it too.
Well, no, they killed one off.
Yeah,
like,
but you had to have 4 in order. So, which one of your sisters would you fire? And you can still do it. Oh man, this is such a hard question for me to answer.
I feel like I would live in the like Black Mirror San Junipero world, because then I live my normal life, and then I have my cool themed afterlife 90s though I would probably go with. Like, that seems comfortable. It doesn't seem like anything bad would happen to me in that.
Zell is planning for the future. She's got her. She's like, I'm gonna be good for now and forever.
Yeah.
Mine would change, like, depending on what show I'm watching at the time. Because, like, right now, the only show I'm watching is Vampire Diaries. And I could hang out with Klaus. I could be okay with that. Mm-hmm. Like, he'd probably kill me, but there are worse ways to die.
No. Since I'm his sister now, we're good. We're good. He's not allowed to eat you.
Okay, fair.
You can just chill.
So to be fair, does he listen to any of his siblings? Like,
it depends on how they approach the situation, and as long as they don't make him mad.
And how hungry he is.
That too.
I mean, you know.
He listens to Freya.
I think Katie Ann is like, he's just touch starved. Like, he just needs a hug. I'm like, I'll hug him. It's fine.
See, I'd be the hugging sibling. I'm a very affectionate sibling, so it's fine. But I do think he didn't listen to Freya perfectly, but I think out of all of his siblings, she was the one that he like respected the most.
Perhaps.
After Elijah.
I love Elijah's character.
He's so great.
I haven't I've only watched like 2 episodes of the originals because I decided that instead of switching back and forth, I want to watch all of Vampire Diaries and then I'm going to go back to it. Yeah. But I just really love Elijah's character. He's done so well.
Okay. Oh, no, they exist. I hear them.
How about fictional besties and friend groups? Which friend group would you want to be a part of that's a fictional friend group?
I would want to be friends with the Yu Yu Hakusho crew. I just want to be nakama with them. I want to get into fights, but then also love each other because we're brothers and we're beautiful.
I might actually still Sherry's answer.
They're just the best. Like, they're just the best crew.
So much.
They're the best crew. Like,
because the Kuwabara is a man, not a mulberry tree.
Kuwabara is a man, but Kuwabara is a mulberry tree. I can't. Okay, so I love the English dub of Yu Yu Hakusho. It was
really good.
Perfection. Except for that one bit that we don't talk about, but all the rest of it is perfection. Flying guy, wind powers.
No, but that's
you love him.
I love him.
He makes
Look
me.
at your machine. I thought I was crazy, but you're the one who make your bum go boom in your face. I love his voice actor.
I am going to respectfully disagree. Your opinion is valid, but you're wrong.
His voice actor voices like 5 different characters.
Yes, he does.
He's everywhere.
I would like to be part of the Mighty Nine crew.
They're a fun crew.
Ooh.
I think the most basic answer of all basic answers, I would want to be friends with the Shadowhunter characters, like from the Mortal Instruments, but them when they're in my age bracket, not them when they're teenagers.
I'll see you in another decade, kids.
Well, because like in the modern day era, in like the Lady Midnight era, they are a lot closer to my age. They're in like their mid-20s, and they're like so much more reasonable than they were when they were in their teenage years. So like, I want to be friends with those characters, but when they're closer to my age bracket.
Yep.
Because they would be a hoot. Like, I would have a great time.
Yeah.
It would be really fun.
My one of my closest online friends currently is 23, 24. So like, but she's like not. She works like an actual job and has responsibilities. So you're like, you're the best. Actually, thank you. I feel like the teenage version of the Shadowhunters crew would just be their babysitter, like hanging out with them.
It's like the books, how they basically anytime there's a Herondale involved, whoever is around is just like, Herondale, no, like just constantly telling whatever Herondale no.
I'll say it no,
don't do it. Any answers, Lizelle?
I can't really think of any, because now I'm like, oh right, the teenagers, and I was like, that seems uncomfortable for me. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, what adult groups? And I struggle. And then I'm like, do I really want to become part of an established friend group?
Yeah, but you'd be like, a part of it from the beginning.
Established,
I guess
in the friend group already.
You'd get in at the ground level.
Or you pick a friend group who you've seen have new friends come in and they're accepted.
That's true. I don't really know. I can't think of any at this current moment in time.
Your intro version is just like peak. Do I want to hang out with anyone like full stop anyway?
And then the only other group that is coming to mind is like the family from The Haunting of Hill House. And I'm like, I honestly don't even know that I necessarily want to be your friend. It seems like it would be a lot of emotional labor.
Oh no.
but I'd be interested in like hearing their tea.
Yeah.
There. Like that would be fun.
So you want to be their therapist?
I don't want to help. I just want to be texted to be like,
you want to be their bartender.
Oh my god!
Got it.
Can you believe what just happened?
Let me pour you another drink.
Or let me tell you this thing that happened in my childhood that was really freaky.
Like a lot of the do that. Be Haunting of Hill House's bartender. Like I think this is perfect for you.
I feel like I really need to read that book now.
The book is completely like separate from the show. It's like they're two different stories.
I'm okay with that.
I feel like Jess asked a question, and then the rest of us are like, you know what? We don't know how to answer that one. So here's our version of your question.
How about books that feature LGBTQ plus characters? What's your favorite book and/or books that feature LGBTQ plus characters?
I can't pick favorites.
Yeah.
Can I rattle off a bunch?
Or one you've read recently that's like a newer release that you really enjoyed, or
I read In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland, and that one is super, super good. It's about a pansexual blood mage trying to get herself and her family out of a crappy situation, and there's like found family, and she's extremely snarky, which is my jam. And then there's also blood magic, which also my jam. And she has a guardian who watches over her, and he's dead, so he's like a ghost. So ghosts.
All right. I can get behind that.
That's a strong opener.
Anyone else?
I'm trying to remember anything I've ever read in my existence of life.
I'm like, do I read? I don't know anymore. I can't remember.
I know I recently read the Percy Jackson's the Heroes of. I was about to say the Heroes of Hyrule. That is most definitely not the series.
It's not it.
Okay.
Heroes of Olympus.
That one.
God, like I can't even remember the name of it. It's like Chinese. No. Oh no.
I lost the one I was thinking of. Where'd it go? Oh,
Shall I rattle off several in the absence of time?
In the silence.
You in A Dull, Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley
Well, I
Shepard.
try to remember things.
Work
that's
Your
also,
Teens, Fame Murder, Toronto.
right.
That's my bit.
Earlier this year, I read Felix Ever After, which I really enjoyed.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah, so good. I cried a lot, which is not unusual for me.
Mm-hmm.
I also had an arc this year of Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez that also made me cry. And it's more, which is weird because I am a straight cisgendered white woman, but sometimes I really connect to things, and I was really able to connect to, which is a weird thing to say. I was able to understand the perspective of the main character who is bisexual and is in a like an LGBTQ group at her school, and the author did this kind of like a big spiel on how bisexual people are often completely disregarded from the LGBTQ community because they are often seen as straight if they're in a heteronormative relationship. It's a really good conversation about it, and I'm just like sobbing because I don't know that any of my nieces or nephews are. I don't know what their gender identities are. I mean, they're like 16 to 0 years old, so I don't know. Nobody's like told me anything, so I don't know. But I love that we live in a world that I feel like if they were non-heteronormative, that they would be more accepted than what someone would have been when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. And so when I read those things in books, like it makes me so emotional because I think of like my nieces and nephews living in that world. So it was a very beautiful thing. So weird.
Yeah.
So I finally remembered. Wolf Cry by Amelia Atwater Rhodes. It's I think it's the first LGBTQ book I ever read. And I remember I had read Amelia's, like I had read her For Den of Shadows, and then this one was book 4 in the Keishra series, which was kind of a prequel series. And I started reading it, and up to that point, all of the main couples had been male-female. And then it gets to this one, and the main character is a woman, and there's a dude who kind of might have been her love interest, but she like was not interested. And then she finds a female wolf shifter, and it's like they connect. And I was like 14, 15 maybe when I was reading this, and I was like, oh, are they girlfriends? I was like very excited. I was like, I found a book with girlfriends. Yes. And then like, and I loved it. I like how they connected. I like how the romance was done. Now, also remember, it's been 15 years, so I don't remember it fully, but it definitely was one of the first positive LGBTQ stories I ever read. So,
if we're going for positive, first positives, I would have to say Cardcaptor Sakura. It's not a book. But
there's a manga.
It is in paper form. It at some point appears in paper form, but it was at such an early age that I watched Cardcaptor Sakura because it was playing dubbed in Tagalog in the Philippines, and like they tried so hard to hide the the relationship between Yuki and Sakura's older brother. And it just stood out to me as like, wait, I know what this feels like. This is familiar to me. This is a feeling that I'm going to feel for a long time. Like, this is me. So I just connected to that, and then ever since then I just like fell into fandoms that if they even hinted at it, I was there.
I'm trying to remember what the brother's name is now. I feel like it was a T name. Now, well, it's gone.
I'm looking
Toya.
Yeah, Toya Kinomoro.
Ah, it was a T name.
It was a T name.
I mostly remember because it sounds like toyo, which is soy sauce in Tagalog.
Fair.
Anyone have any favorite immortal characters?
Sam El Nasset.
My own?
Thank
My
you.
own characters for my current project?
Fair enough.
Styx from Sherilyn Kenyon's Dark Hunter series. Since I don't think I should name myself.
Your name's already in the hat. You fine.
It's already there. I don't know. Immortal
Like, I
is
just
so
assume-
difficult because even immortal characters can die, which means they're not
Yeah.
immortal.
I have a fun question.
Yes.
Would you be tempted to read a book if you knew that death could die?
Death could die?
Yes,
Like-
the Reaper. If the Reaper could die.
Depends on how attached I am to him or her
Yeah.
or them.
I mean,
I was
I hear
very, very upset when Dean killed Death in Supernatural. Death was always eating food, and I heavily related.
Yeah.
So I was very sad about that one. So it just depends on how attached I am to Death. Like, as a concept, it's fine.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Like, maybe I'll give anything a shot, honestly.
I'm not. There are like certain things that don't sound good to me, like the blurb specifically, but there's not anything that I'm just like adherently like, nah, I won't read that. I'm not into that thing. So.
Yeah.
That's not working for me. All right. Favorite fictional villain. Who's your favorite villain?
I always like the Darkling, not because I'm a Darkling stan, but because I think it's very masterful to have a character that is clearly terrible, that you have divided people into thinking and defending him as not terrible. Like, to me, that's just great character work. Like, you've put in someone who you're like, this is the villain, and people are like, but is he though? And like, that to me is very compelling.
Yep. Okay. Yes.
I like the Darkling to me is first off, we're talking pre Ben Barnes because anybody can be behind Ben Barnes. Like that's it. So
that's
even
a separate thing.
Even pre Ben Barnes, like people are behind the Darkling. And my thing is like I don't see him as like the romantic character that people see him as. Like I don't get the love interest aspect. But to be fair, like the country that he lives in is kind of on a genocide kick of his kind of people.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's like very ruthless about wanting his people to continue to live does make him a not necessarily evil character.
Yeah.
Until he's like killing them himself.
Yeah.
Then things get iffy. But yeah. It's like, interesting to me. When I was a teenager, I was like I got manipulated like the character, and I was like very romanticized about him until Nikolai came along, and then I was like, whatever, nobody needs you.
Right, nobody needs you.
I'm like, oh no, what were you thinking?
Yeah, in the beginning, it's very much like any character that even if they are inherently evil, they're doing it for the right reasons. So.
Yeah, if you do it right.
I have the quote somewhere over here that was in one of the books that I reread this past year, this past month. People are so rarely demons in their own minds was one of the things from the Hex Hall series.
Yes.
Because a lot of times the villain thinks that they're the hero.
Yeah.
But they just are kind of going about things the wrong way. Just a little. Any other favorite villain?
I have one.
Okay.
My favorite villain, because I agree with him, and in the end he kind of won anyway, is Killmonger from the Black Panther series.
I was literally about to say him.
He's very solid. When I watched the movie, I was like, oh no.
Well, Sherry and I can just answer for each other for the rest of the stream. We no longer need to answer separately, except book preferences. That's it.
It's just he was right. Except for killing a lot of people. That's
okay. Here's the thing.
But he was right.
His motivations were solid.
Yep.
His methodology questionable.
Yeah.
God, I just love him so much. And also he chose the gold Panther suit.
But I love that there are people speculating that they're going to find a way to bring him back for the next Black Panther movie.
Well, they have ways to do it now that they've done the whole the multiverse thing. They can definitely bring him back now.
I would accept that. I don't need a good explanation. Just have him pop up and I'll be like, yep, I've accepted it.
I don't even need a good explanation.
That's like half of comic book fans. Like, we don't need a good explanation. Just give us the fanfare.
Yeah. We've already been through this so many times. Just Just give it to us. Give us what we want.
I again going with like the most basic answer of all time. I love the villain Sebastian Morgenstern from the Mortal Instruments series. Again, I'm so basic. Because there is a viewpoint in the last book of the series. So he's like basically half demon possessed, kind of, sort of. And I don't care about spoilers for a book series that it's been out for 20 years. And if you're going to read it, you've already read it. And if not, then it's you have no interest. Like there's a part in the last book where you see in a dream sequence the person he could have been had he not been like connected to a demon. And it's so interesting to have that perspective. And again, it's that whole thing where some people see him as a villain and some people don't. Some people really love his character. And to me, it's like any character that could have been the hero, but due to circumstances outside of their control, they're the villain. I get behind that character 110%.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I only read up to the third book, so I don't know what happened. All I remember was I had liked him until I realized he had, the incest trickery really
got real weird
for me. But that was those whole first 3 books. I was like, I can't be tricked over incest anymore. It's very upsetting. So
when I started reading that series, I think that it was published up to the 4th book. So like I already knew going in like what the weird incesty tropes, trickery things were. Like I already knew the twists, so I was okay with reading it because otherwise I would have stopped reading after the first book.
Yeah, I was reading it when I was a teen, so there were only 3 books out. And then I went to university and I was like, la da da. And then she was like, surprise, a 4th book. And I bought it. And then I didn't get to it. And then she was like, surprise, a 5th book. And then I gave up.
And now we're on like book 343.
Yeah. And I can't. It was too late for me.
But I still read them all and love them all. So,
My favorite villain is not really a villain per se, but I like Damien for Vampire Diaries.
Yes.
And
sometimes evil.
Other than him, I like my own. I wouldn't call him a villain. He's kind of having the same ish or itch to him that Damien have from my own project. Just a spoiler for my project, he's gonna have the redemption arc. So he's going from negative point of person to a positive. So
yes.
But I like to look at him as the villain in the first book, so.
I was going to say, here's what Sherry and Sam can agree on. Book titles beginning with the first letter of your name. Except they can.
We have to pick different books now.
Okay, wait. Let me like Google something.
6 by Sherilyn Kenyon.
I don't think there are any books that start with the first letter.
Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I did it. It's a different one.
I picked a different one.
Also,
when did you pick, Carrie?
I picked Stardust by Neil Gaiman because I was just talking about this recently to a friend of mine who is way younger than me, so she only knew about Stardust through the movie, and I was like, read it. Also, stop making me feel old.
I'm friends with an 18-year-old college student.
CB,
so I get
yes.
I have to sort all of my
So
red books
Cody-
by title.
Also, Cody's 22 and Matt's 20 something before
Oh,
7.
they're
After one.
babies.
One of my favorite books are A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E.
Schwab.
Yeah, thank you. And it's from the series Shades of Magic.
Azelle, did you say yours?
The only thing I couldn't think of anything, but I could like see because my friend's book is on the shelf. Like Home by Louisa Onome. And I otherwise not think of anything, but it's a fun book. It's a contemporary about like talking about things like gentrification and like changing friend groups, and it's set in a Toronto-like neighborhood, and she does a teen voice, I think, very, very well. Feels very authentic.
Yeah, I love that.
And should I pick one for my author name, it should be Vampires Academy.
God, I love Vampire Academy. Oh. So I just pulled up my red shelf on Goodreads and sorted by title, and there are 0 titles with Jessica or with a J. And in case you don't know, my name's Jessica. Hello. So I went to the first letter of my last name, which is a W, and there are so many that I like. War Maidens by Kelly Kuhn, Well Met by Jinda Luca. Let's see what else is in here. Maybe it might be just be those 2. Yeah, those 2. Wind Witch by Susan Dennard.
I was just gonna say, I was like, one of the witches.
One of the witches is the W. Winter, which is one of the books in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. The Wives by Taryn Fisher, which I love and is very controversial, but I love that book. So like lots of W's though. No J's. Plenty of W's though.
He's W. It's fine.
No
Those are
J's.
arbitrary rules anyway.
Okay, Eva, I don't know how you're old enough to have a daughter who's 24. Because you look like you're 24 in your picture. But okay then.
That is her daughter. Dun, dun, dun.
Could be.
Maybe.
Oh, somebody's talking about, sorry, in chat, from the villain thing, the main character.
Oh my gosh. I am streaming with Nia in half an hour, so I should go.
Yes, you indeed should.
Thank you guys so much. My name has been Sherry. I am around. Peace.
She should also be linked down below.
Oh, that one also very important.
Mary, I'm gonna send you a wonderful picture. You're gonna love it just as soon as I find it.
Thank you. Bye.
I am also hopping out at this time because I need to eat. Thanks for having me. And
Thanks for joining us.
Streaming with you.
Rosella is also linked down below.
yeah.
She's like, yeah, whatever.
She's not really gonna love this picture I'm about to send her, but I have to send it.
Also, I should do the thing with the thing. Now that Lizelle is gone and we can talk about her, even though she's, could still be here. Who knows? Let me find it. So later this month on the 15th, I don't know my days of the week, guys. On the 15th, Lizelle's book comes out. It's called Blood Like Magic. That's what I'm reading right now currently. And I have a buddy read group for the book. And I will share that in the chat if anybody wants to join my buddy read.
How does the bunny read? The buddy, not bunny. How does that work?
It is on Discord. And so basically what I'm doing is just I have every chapter has like a chapter discussion section. So you can just join whenever you have read that chapter and join the discussion. I will probably be leaving in some thoughts as I go through. I think I'm on like chapter 6 so far. So
sounds fun.
And how do we get hold of her book?
You buy it on the 15th.
It will be out on the 15th. And she has I actually in the Discord server that I linked, in the resources, there's a link for all of her pre-order links.
Cool.
I added that in there because I'm also taking part in a month-long readathon this month called the Whatever You Want-a-thon. And that's what I originally made the buddy read for, was for that group. And I know that like it comes out in the middle of the month and everybody may not have it by that time, but if people want to read it, because it is because it's coming out and it's a new thing. And Eva pre-ordered it. I have 2 copies pre-ordered. I pre-ordered a copy from Amazon like 6 years ago. It hasn't been that long, but it's been a minute. And then there's another company that was doing like an exclusive edition with like pretty sprayed edges or something, and I also pre-ordered that because I have problems. Also,
if you want me to take one off your hand, I am available.
I also have I'm filming I'm filming a vlog of reading the Ark, and I'm at about like 22%, I think, when I went to bed last night, and I literally I planned on updating it like every 15% just to like have some updates going on, cruising through. And I've updated it 15%, and then like right at 20%, like this thing happened, and I'm like I was crying. It was amazing. I can't wait for you guys to read this book. Like I'm only 20% in, and I can't wait for other people to read it. Like I'm dying. So I didn't want to gush about it with her here because I know it makes her kind of uncomfortable. So
that's fair.
I don't want to make her uncomfortable on screen.
I was like, should I? Because for a minute I was leading the Blood Like Magic hype train. I was like, what if this is making her uncomfy? Let me scale it back. Let me stop.
I love that y'all are considerate like that.
She is. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, so I won't say that. I don't know what the rules are. I was gonna say something, but I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna say it now. Okay. Rise Up all goes to plan, because otherwise Authortube gonna spoiler it for me. I mean, you're not wrong. April 17th is when she pre-ordered the hard copy. I don't know. I mean, it's been a minute, so. Let me see. Your recent order. I love that it says it was a recent order. It's not a recent order, but go ahead. Go off. Tell me the things you love. Where am I at? I love chats because I can just do whatever I want and you all just expect me to be crazy. Uh-oh, something happened. Why is my computer redirecting to newegg.net? I don't even know what that is. That, my friends, is called a virus. I ordered it October 20th. My pre-order was from October 20th. So when I said it was like a million years ago, I meant it. I love the reminder of when I pre-ordered a book, because otherwise I would have no clue what I'm doing. I also make notes in my planner of books that I have pre-ordered, because otherwise I completely forget. Is that the book I want? Is that the button I want? I'm going to leave that tab open because I want to do a thing later. Anyway, does anybody else have any other things they would like to discuss while we're here? Or are we all just like zoning out because we need to sleep?
No, I'm pre-ordering.
You can't make a teaser about a book and then expect us not to check it out or not to pre-order it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You have any more fun questions, Jess? I missed the bulk of them.
I can find one for you. My little grape fry. My little fried grape.
Apparently, it's been so long since I had an Audible free trial. Or since I had Audible, like, the subscription. It was like, would you like a free trial? You get a book. And I'm like, I mean, we've been through this before, but sure. Yes, child.
All right, great. Book that made you cry.
Oh gosh, I cried literally everything.
Me too.
One who made me cry. Twilight.
Not today.
Twilight, not today.
Sorry. My husband went to the store, so they're here now. I don't think there have been books that have made me tear up, but I don't think any has ever made me cry.
Oh no, I read it's an old book, Speak by Lori
All right, go ahead.
Halls Anderson. Does anyone read that book? It's devastating.
Okay.
I cried at everything. So let me scroll up here and go back to the page I was just on.
I would say Twilight, and then I would say Vampire Academy, book 2, Frostbite.
3.
I don't think I ever made it past like the first book in that series.
5.
I would say it's worth keep reading with that series.
7. 8. 9.
And you know what? I always get this series confused with the was it Marked?
10.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Okay.
Also, the Night series. That's what it's called.
House of Night. Yep.
I think they have very similar covers. Like the style of cover and title is pretty much the same, and that's why, as if you're mirroring things in picture, that can be the reason why you associate them with one another.
Sorry, what's the question we're answering?
A book that made you cry.
Oh, right. I answered.
I just counted of the 58 books that I've read this year, 18 have made me cry. So, you know.
UNCB shed enough tears for me. It's fine. I'll just take one of your books.
I'm just waiting on my husband making dinner for me. So
I like food.
Because I'm gonna be live at 8.
I'm with Phoebe. Everything makes me cry. Books, TV shows, commercials. They did a like way back in the day when I was a little kid, there was a Cheerios commercial that like was super sob story Cheerios commercial with like a grandma and her kid talking about like where all of the family is for the holidays and about how at Christmas time all the family comes together because like everybody's together at Christmas or whatever. And last year Cheerios did a redo of the commercial, but did it like social distancing wise. And was like, and they found the girl who was the kid in the commercial like 20 years ago. And the old lady is actually an actress, but the girl like didn't really do any acting after that. She's a college student. They brought her back and brought the grandma back and did it again and did it like video chat wise. And so like even in a pandemic, it's still family together at Christmas. And I'm just like, what are you doing? So
I'm tearing up now just hearing you describe it.
I can't do it. Why? I always say like everything makes me cry, even cat food commercials, because there's like literally a cat food commercial where it talks about like there's a stray cat that the family brought in and they talk about how much they love her, and it says at the end, everyone always says that we saved Fluffy, but really in the end it was Fluffy that saved us. And I'm just like, Fluffy.
Can I just answer a time I made Jess cry?
I mean, right now.
I didn't make you cry right now. That was you.
You're not wrong. When did you make me cry? There's probably a time.
Sailor Moon Let's Talk Season 1.
You did. You made me cry during Sailor Moon. I've never even watched it. And she was just like describing what happened, and I'm sitting here crying. I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so sad. You're not wrong. Everything makes me cry. I will like get emotional, like driving to work, and a song comes on the radio that I've never heard before, and there'll just be like one line in it, and I'm just like, oh my God, what? So.
The first book that I read ever and that I cried to was Black Beauty by Anna Sewell.
Black
Fair.
Beauty's a good book.
That was the first time I cried to an actual book.
I couldn't
First
tell you.
movie I cried to, that must be The Lion King.
Hold on, we didn't say visual media.
I'm pretty sure that the first movie that I cried to was Nightmare Before Christmas, but it was because I was terrified. Like, my aunt took us all to see it because it was like cartoony, so she thought it was like a kid's movie, which, I mean, it kind of is. But I was very young. Like, I was 6 or under. And so, like, my cousins loved it. And I hid underneath my seat and cried the whole time. So, I was
Sounds
terrified.
traumatic.
And now, as an adult, I, to this day, have never seen the movie all the way through. Because even though, like, I love the aesthetic of it as a grown-up, the movie to me is boring as hell. Like, I always fall asleep.
Mm.
It's the whole, like, it's the, like, the building of the gifts and delivering them part. I haven't seen it as an adult. I always fall asleep.
The TV show that most recently made me cry was the Something of the Fox Spirit. It's a K-drama on Viki. And the ending with the two brothers got me good. I cried like 4 times during the last 2 episodes. Now my sister refuses to watch it with me because she's like, if it made you cry, and I'm like, but Sammy, you have to watch it with me. She's like, no, not if it made you cry. Because like Jess and CB, Tabby also cries at many, many things.
I actually talked to Becca the other night about, we were talking about Vampire Diaries. This is the first time I've ever watched it. And I am in season 7. Yeah, I'm in like the middle of season 7. And so at some point, whether it's like the end of season 6 or the beginning of season 7, one of the adults dies. That's like the last one living. And I cried for like 3 whole episodes. Just like them being sick, their death, the after, like I cried for 3 episodes straight, just like sobbed the whole time. Because I'm like, she's the only parent any of them have left, and she's been so good to all of them. Now she's gonna die, and they're not gonna have anybody. It was a hot mess, a hot dang mess. Sorry.
It's okay. You froze, and in a position where like your eyes were just closed, so it was like mid-sob. It's very tragic looking.
Let's bring this back around. Let's bring it to something else. Shoot. I think these are the discarded ones. These are the ones I discarded. That's awkward. Just ask you a question again. No big deal. Merlin, what are you doing back here? Being Merlin. Favorite fictional couple?
Kitty's coming, kitty.
My couple in my book.
Tobias and Layla from the Savior series.
Oh, I just read was it Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Julia Goffney. And the main couple in there was cute.
Also the name of Jessica's autobiography.
Excuse me while I ugly cry.
Yeah.
Fair. I would say Zaf and Danny from Take a Hint, Danny Brown. Yeah. Love that. I read his own romance. I'm super cool.
I would also say, because everything in my life boils back to this movie, Nick and Nora from Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. That movie, I don't know how well it holds up, but like, I love that movie so much.
I've never watched it, but it's on my list on Netflix, or at least it was when it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still there.
It's just like the quintessential, like, it's the perfect coming of age movie, I think. It's so fun.
I still think like 10 Things I Hate About You is like it's my go-to teen rom-com movie.
That is a good one.
How about books with love triangles?
Oh gosh.
There are so many, and I cannot remember any of them. Except Twilight, and that is not going to be my answer. Wait, are we just listing them, or do we have to like them?
One that you liked that you think was done well, or a book that you like, maybe? I don't know.
Or one that you didn't like and you just like to harp on. I'm
There
here for
you
that as
go.
well.
Or one you hated.
I just noticed your name.
I would say Harry Potter, but it's because I agree with some readers that there is a love triangle between Hermione, Ron, and Harry.
I've never read the Harry Potter series, so cannot confirm nor deny.
Good answer.
The hill I shall die on until I die on the hill is that Hermione should have ended up with Victor Crumb.
Definitely agrees.
I just like look at favorite fictional love triangle. How did I forget this?
Wait, favorite fictional love triangle, is that what it says?
Yeah.
All I had heard was love triangle. Damn it, now I gotta change my answer.
Books with love triangles.
Wait,
Oh,
what
okay.
in real love triangle? Like,
Right.
what is it?
Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Book love triangle is my favorite. I win.
The one in Hanakimi between Netsuke and the other two who are the lesser important points of the triangle.
Fair. Something is going on in the other room. It must be that one cat. Because the other cat's here.
One I didn't like was in the Shatter Me series. I wasn't a fan of that.
I only read the first book and then bailed.
I think I read, I'm embarrassed to say, maybe like 4 of them.
4 of the
But then
6.
the last, Then the last one that I read was like kind of open-ended, and I was like, if she brings back this motherfucking villain, I'm done. I can't do this again.
All I remember is like someone I seen like the first chapter of maybe the new triangle or the new trilogy, and it was like all of their names were different and like they hadn't been who they thought they were, and I was like, I ain't fucking reading this shit.
What?
I'm out. Like you just everybody's a different person than they were 3 books ago.
I just realized that my favorite couple is Trish and Four in the Deviant series.
Divergent?
Yes.
I've never read those either.
Divergent.
Never read those either.
They are a very, very cute couple.
That series is real weird because like every time someone couples within the next 2 chapters, one of those people in that couple dies throughout the entire series. Like
now you're ruining all the foreshadowing she's been working so hard on as a writer.
You don't know which one it's going to be. Also, it's been out for like 12 years, and if you haven't read it yet, you're not going to. So I feel like anything that is like huge on BookTube, like Shadowhunters, Divergent, Twilight, anything like that that's been like super big, I feel like if you were going to read it, you would have read it by now. And if not, you probably already know all of the spoilers. So I don't worry too much about those things. There are other books
to assume I watch BookTube. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't worry about you, Sam. You don't care. You will inevitably forget. You will forget what I have told you about these books that you've never read before.
Only because I haven't slept.
Right.
But yeah.
So, you know. I mean, fair. Also, it's an exaggeration. I think if you do read Divergent, I think it is very, like, if you read the series, it's very important to read the collection of short stories, the 4, and to read the foreword that she wrote in that, because it kind of explains why the series goes in the direction that it goes in.
Like before, during, or after?
At the end. It came out fourth. The collection of short stories came out last. The thing is that people hate the ending of the 3rd book so much that they just completely ignore it. But in the foreword of 4, the 4th book, she talks about her original idea for the story and how she originally wanted the story to be from 4's point of view, but that she couldn't figure out how to say the things she wanted to say from his point of view. And so she created Triss as a way to give you an insight into his life, but also to say the other things that she needed to say. And it makes the ending of the 3rd book make a lot more sense. So,
cool.
Just one of those things. I pay attention to the weird, random things. I'm definitely that person who
I read cover to cover, so I read the forewords, the afterwards.
I think it's important to understand where the author was coming from, because if you don't understand something, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that maybe they were coming at it from a different viewpoint than you.
Yeah.
So
I feel like if the author went out of their way to explain something in the paperback, then I'll go ahead and read it.
All right, I'm going to pick one more, and then we're going to be done for the day so Sam can sleep and I can get lunch.
I can't sleep till Chris comes home.
Sam can pretend to sleep, and I can
have
make
lunch. Food. I'm hungry.
Okay.
And then I might sleep.
Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Maybe that one. Gotta pick a good one now. Okay. Books featuring ghosts or haunted houses. One you liked.
Well, one, I'm going to plug my short story, which Till Pizza Do Us Part, on my website, samanthailnasset.com, which has a flash fiction. And also the book I pick it's either 666 Number of the Beast or the Number of the Beast 666, but it's actually a compilation of short stories of the spooky and horror variety.
Fair.
I can't remember the last thing I read that had ghosts in it.
Go read my website and then come back and say that one.
Okay, give me a second.
She's like, hold on real quick. Let's see. Probably Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I really enjoyed that one. That one was creepy. Which it may or may not actually be a ghost story. But you know. Anyone else? Favorite ghost story?
I wouldn't see it in that category, but Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, an Indian history of the American West by D. Brown, is a good pick for me if I want to have that kind of a fix. And other than that, Harry Potter, there's plenty of ghosts in that one and creepy houses. So
fair.
Casper, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know.
My internet does not want to pull up Sam's website, so I cannot use that as my answer.
I appreciate the genuine effort.
She's like, I tried, man. She tried.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have anything they would like to add, to say, to do before we run away?
Well, I need beta readers for my murder story. So if anybody wants to apply to beta read that, my application is on my website, samanthailnasset.com/beta.
Is there a deadline for reading the murder story?
Well, it depends on what you mean by deadline for reading it. I would like the story read and the questions answered by, like, what was the date? I think the 21st. Let me check my website. I have it on the application.
Well, I didn't read it. Clearly.
I know. I'm going to go read it, is what I'm saying.
I'm making fun of how we talk about how no one ever reads the Discord. They just like ask all the stupid questions instead of reading.
So my website says the 19th, but that should be the 25th.
Of this month?
Yes. It's because the deadline for the thing is the 30th. So,
fair.
But I got to edit the website because that should actually be the 26th, not the 19th.
Fair.
Put the wrong Saturday.
I was just about to ask if you were entering it into that contest?
Yes.
Anthology? I don't know the right word for that.
That's fine. I know what you're talking about. The Rebel Diaries that Stieg's trying to enter. Yes, that is also. I'm also entering it. So
fair.
I am so close to having my draft finished. I just have one section. So currently the story is 3,900 words. I guesstimate that it will be around 6,000 words when done.
That's a good length.
Yeah. The word count on the application says 6.5 to 7.5 because I made the application when I was pre-fight scene, but the fight scene didn't take as many words as I thought, so it's all good.
Sure.
Yeah, the longest it can be is 7.5 because that's the cap, but I don't think it's going to be more than 6.5.
I'm going to apply as soon as my internet cooperates. I got to figure out this. I have to know the context of the murder.
I also
It's too intriguing.
I also want to know the context of the murder, but like
I shall read for you the synopsis. Prince Eric has been living the good life, working for the Empress to hunt down chosen ones before they can save the world. When he finds an unexpected companion during his search, he'll have to uncover her past and decide her future.
Ooh, I love that. That was a good synopsis.
Thank you.
I want to read the murder, but I also have like 24 books I need to read this month. So
I can also just send you a copy of the murder. It's okay.
But I
You
want
don't
to
have
be
to.
helpful.
That's fair.
Like I want to do all of the things. Do I have is that a box I need to check off? Is a villain story a box I need to check off?
It's also fantasy, LGBTQ.
I mean, technically,
I may write a sequel in which he and the waiter run off together, just so everyone knows.
Where's my? Oh, there it is. I have too many planners. I can't find it.
I think my husband came home and my dogs are losing their shit. No, it's not even. Why are you losing your shit? He's not home yet. Are other dogs outside? Is that your problem? They have heard
our friends outside playing, and we want to play.
You're fine. You're not going outside. It's raining. You can get mud all over my freshly shampooed carpets.
I do have an anti-hero as one of my checkboxes.
I guess he can count as that.
Because one of our boards this month is Loki, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, I definitely think he fits a Loki themed board.
I might have to make time for this. It's fine. 24 books plus a short story.
Make it work.
I should be able to have it out to betas by the end of this week. So at the very latest.
I'll fill out the application so I don't be a cheat.
Good. I like having the application forms for archival purposes.
Okay, kids. That's all I got for the day. Anybody have anything else?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Thank you all for joining us for this wonderful chat that went in very weird directions. Hope you're all enjoying the Worldwide Writeathon. And in about 7.5 hours, I don't even know what time 7.5 hours, Sam and I will be joining you right here on this channel to discuss the closing of the Writeathon.
I may or may not have napped by then. We'll see.
Which means we hope Sam has napped by then. Bye, everybody.